Hey guys, I have an actual punchline joke that I don't think I've told in the show before.
Well, that's a great way to sell it.
Yeah.
It's like when you say a
First
story like this is
time
a
in the
really good,
Phantom Zone ever.
this is a really good story.
This is gonna be a great segue.
This could be a great. I got a joke. Someone brought it up today, and it's one of my favorite jokes ever, and it's a historical joke. So, an artist is hired to paint a mural at a museum. And the museum curator says, I want you to draw me General Custer's last thoughts. And he leaves, and he comes back a week later, and on his wall is a giant fish with a halo over its head and Native Americans having sex everywhere. And he says, what is this? I asked you to draw General Custer's last thoughts. And the painter says, I did. He says, holy mackerel, what's these fucking Indians everywhere?
Boo. Boo.
This is bad joke corner.
I'm against this and for this at the same time.
Yep. Yeah, I'm the 40-year-old man here. What the hell are you doing telling a joke like that?
Oh, I think that's not even a dad joke. That's a drunk uncle joke.
Yeah.
That's a Dale Cooper joke.
This is my favorite joke.
Destined to be an old man.
Aren't we all, though?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, there's a difference between being an old man and just physically having time pass by and you age.
That's funny, because I have friends who are, like, a little younger than me. I'm just like, you're so fucking old.
Yeah.
I'm like, stop it, Grandpa.
I don't know. When you're worrying about
it's friends who, like fucking shake their fists at, like, weird pop culture things. I'm like, stop being old.
At the clouds.
Basically, yeah.
They have bowls of Werther's originals in their houses.
I don't know. The only old man thing I do is I have no idea anything that's new music.
I do to an extent, like, because I just kind of absorb it through osmosis. But then, like, once I'm familiar with it, I usually start to just detest it.
I worked at a record store for like 4 years, and I just got burned out because I was constantly up to date on everything. Be it
all it took me was to hear Megan Tremaine for a week straight, and I was like, "That's enough."
I don't even know who that is.
Wait,
is that the young woman who sings about the large butts?
Oh, and she's like really short, right?
Megan Tremaine. I don't know what the
hell. Oh, Trainer, yeah.
Yeah, Megan Trainor. Yeah, All About That Bass is a terrible song, and where did she go?
I don't know. The only new song I know is Despacito.
Well, that's also because the internet got a hold of it, and now it won't go away.
Yeah, now I start seeing it in memes, and I'm really confused.
People listen to the radio exclusively at where I work, and I've heard that Cardi B song quite a bit, and I'm already done with it.
Which Cardi B song? Because all of them sounds like she's just yelling Cardi at me.
I like it like that, I think is what it's called.
In between several seconds of censoring at a time, because every word she says is inappropriate for radio. So what's the point of playing it if you don't know what she's saying?
Because it's got that hot beat, man.
I don't know. I work at a place with all like 30-year-old plus white people, so the morning started off with Metallica and then turned into Queen, and that was all we listened to all day.
That's a journey.
I could listen to Queen all day, honestly.
Yeah, no, the Queen is good, and I like Metallica, but Metallica at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, that's a bit much. That's a bit much.
Master. Stop! The coffee's not even done yet.
No, I think the first song was Sanitarium.
I can't match this energy.
All right, James, let me finish my coffee, and then we'll listen to what you're singing about.
It's like if I tried falling asleep to Mushroom Head. Like, it's not gonna happen.
Well, the whole thing is like, yeah, like I'm in at 7, but there's been somebody there since like 5 or 4.
Oh,
so by 7 they're awake, and they need the Metallica to keep them alive.
Dude, because of my YouTube like search history, I think I was trying to hang out in my room one night, and YouTube just went that far, and it was like 1 a.m, and Before I Die by Mushroom Head came on like suddenly, and I jumped. I was like, holy shit. Not prepared for that.
Good.
Anyway, I'm Connor McGraw, and welcome to this After Dark episode of the Phantom Zone, where we have so little news to talk about, but I'm sure we're going to get ridiculous because we have been for the last 20-ish minutes.
Give or take.
That none of you are present for.
Also, we're just ridiculous in general. Just
I've been enhanced because I basically haven't gone to bed yet.
Oh no.
Just could not get to sleep last night, and then like finally when I felt my body just like surrender to the astral plane, my alarm went off. I was like, you motherfucker.
Yeah.
That's the worst.
Yeah.
I've been there.
I'm still jet lagged. I'm like almost back to real time.
And it's technically my day off. I picked up a shift for somebody, so just because of that, I just went to work all day. I was like,
Did you want to go back to the astral plane and sing Behind Blue Eyes?
yes.
See, I was
Alan,
gonna say how many people
you
went up to you.
sweet boy. You've been paying attention.
I was gonna say how many people went up to you since you're from Jersey and said like, "Oh, you're not even supposed to be here today."
Oh.
None. And now that you've said that, I'm very disappointed. Who the fuck else is here?
Arlen Haro, as usual. No one else?
Oh my God,
Alan?
yeah.
I'm Alan Muir, and I'm a sentient podcast character.
I will drag you all up to my level right now, okay?
I'm Eric Fedorchak, but I am now going to be known as the sentient weird teeth of Brock Lesnar.
Oh god.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
What were you guys saying in the chat earlier?
Oh God. Let
We'll
Lou
talk about it
introduce
after Lou,
himself.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was the crossover to my group chats, but I'm Luke Gonzalez, and I'm the diversity hire of this podcast. And just to let you know, Eric, I just opened my backwards bastard.
Nice. Nice.
So, Luke put an article in our chat earlier today about like someone zoomed in on Brock Lesnar's mouth at his recent UFC appearance, and like he has these flattened, weird-looking teeth that have like all their pulps exposed or something.
They're full of nougat.
He's got Fig Newton teeth.
And it,
Oh.
like, I don't know. Like, did he? Like, I'm convinced that he filed them down so he could put in his red dragon mouthpiece, and slather himself in raccoon blood and go out into the woods and murder bears.
It's flat teeth
No.
break bonesies here.
First, he German suplexes them.
Well, no. The suplexes are they're reserved for the hunters who go out every year, one night a year, to go hunt the man beast Brock Lesnar in the woods of Minnesota.
I have
none of
anointed
them-
myself in the piss of the dryads.
None of them ever
Brock,
succeed.
that's sap.
Doesn't he live in Saskatchewan now?
I don't
he's
fucking
in
know.
he's in Minnesota somewhere.
I
'cause he's
don't
hired-
know where. Look, I don't know where he lives. I just want him to fuck off back to that place, and please don't ever show up on TV again.
Well,
He's from Minnesota.
except now that he's back in the UFC and he's gonna be fighting for the heavyweight title, which is where those pictures came from.
I know. I'm just hoping like
Oh, he's
Cormier
gonna get the
walks
shit.
in there. I hope Cormier walks in there and just goes Falcon Punch. And
Oh,
just,
he's
like,
gonna beat the shit out of him.
sends Brock Lesnar into the next dimension. Like I
So-
want to see a tear in time and space open up. Like no, I want him to fucking what is that shit that Superboy did?
He punched a hole in
In
the
reality,
the
yeah.
con-
To the 52 universes.
the continuity punch or some shit like that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, I think I've heard it called like the retcon punch.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he punched continuity in the face or some shit like that.
Oh no, like that's what's so funny. Like you, like all the jokes about him, and like literally all day today, he's just been
There's-
getting roasted online in the MMA like Twitter.
I'm just envisioning him like coming into the ring wearing like armor he made out of bark. Like, this will protect me. I've been anointed by the spirits of the forest. I've eaten the red flesh of the weeping tree. Oh, you mean
That's
you ate
when-
some apples, Brock?
That's when like Dana White, someone walks up to Dana White, and Dana White just goes like, "Okay, yes, we're just the WWF now. Okay, we're not even trying to hide it."
Yeah. Yeah. That seems to be the case. I mean, at least when they pull in that weird square tooth motherfucker.
UFC is doing now at least like how they market their company. This is wrestling 20 years ago. It's all it is. It's just that these like idiots like Conor McGregor grew up in that shit. That's why he walks like Vince McMahon out to his fucking fights.
God, I love that.
Well, and that's why he does stupid shit like throw something through a bus window and get 3 people injured because, hey, it's real
Yeah.
and not a fucking angle.
And he's going to jail now, isn't he?
Probably.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't heard anything more about it ever since it happened, so.
And I think it's funny when like MMA crosses over into wrestling, and you have instant successes like Ronda Rousey, and I wouldn't count Brock because he was in wrestling first. But there's somebody else in the indie circuit who is doing wonderfully at it. And then wrestlers go over to MMA, CM Punk.
Bobby Lashley.
Well,
Oh my
Bobby
God.
Lashley was moderately successful.
Well, just because he's only allowed to fight on Indian reservations where they don't test.
But he was like, but in terms of like being a star, like he was the shit. What was that? Spike. Yeah, he was a Bellator star. Which it like you're still on TV as being pushed as some company's guy.
But Brock did good because he's actual collegiate wrestler. Like, he's an actual athlete. CM Punk was just a dude.
Man, like the first fight, I was like, I hope you do well. I don't think you will. And then he didn't. I was like, that still hurt to watch.
Yeah,
but I'm like happy for someone who was like, I want to do this and nothing's gonna stop me from doing it. And he did it. I was like, okay, winning and losing wasn't the point. Like you got in there and did something. And then this next fight was just like, get out.
I want his next his defensive actions in his next fight.
Oh, there isn't going to be one.
No, I want there to be a next fight. Just so he can try to hit his opponent with his Drax trade that he wrote.
You're talking about CM Punk.
Yeah, he wrote an arc about Drax doing MMA.
Well,
wow.
What's his name actually did MMA for a minute? Batista.
Yeah.
But he's like 50.
Yeah, and well, he even said he's like, nah, it's just something I wanted to try for a little bit. That's it.
Was that before or after he got that weird belly button tattoo?
Oh, he's had that for years. He's had that since like
It's way
05.
This was like right before Guardians.
Okay. Well, now he doesn't have to worry about doing any of that shit anymore.
Yeah.
There's a screen test you can look up of Batista and goddammit, Chris Pratt. And it's weird to see like Chris Pratt kind of in like he's not in his Star-Lord uniform, but he's in something.
See, like,
and
in the end of him being chubby.
kind of. And Batista is just painted. Like I don't there's no tattoos. He's just one color.
He's just gray. Yeah.
It's really strange. I'm like that's a weird thing to do.
Yeah, he looks like the woodsman from Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
Got a light?
Got a light.
Got a light?
Got a light.
Water is the well. Drink from it and descend. For those who haven't seen Twin Peaks: The Return, even if you aren't terribly familiar with Twin Peaks, just watch it anyway.
Yeah, it's really
It's on my list.
Go in.
It's a thing.
I dare you.
I just love that video that Lynch put out, or that was released, where Lynch was talking about his visit and meeting George Lucas.
Mm-hmm. I had a headache the entire time I was there.
That video of him like on the Twin Peaks set, like losing his mind because they have limited time to shoot certain scenes of the hotel, and he's like, I can't fucking do this.
He's like, how am I gonna fit this in? How are we gonna do this?
I can't do this. This is like a fucking machine. There's no art. You can't experiment. You can't do anything. It sucks. And he fucking lights a cigarette. I'm like, I'm watching like a fucking grown ass man having like a sincere, passionate breakdown about make believe.
It's really good.
And I'm like, you can't help but take him so seriously. You're like, yeah, I mean, he's fucking right. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's all because he wanted more time with the actor who played Ben, but like he wasn't available, I guess. Which
what do you mean he's not available? Get him here. God,
yeah, it was really good.
I fucking love David Lynch so much.
Yeah.
Anyway, what are our news stories?
We don't have very many because I wasn't looking for them throughout the week.
Honestly, I wasn't either, because after those like few weeks just being like rock'em sock'em by news stories, I was kind of done with it.
Yeah. Little break.
Stop releasing trailers.
Probably one of the biggest stories of the week. The Black Widow movie is actually happening. It's not going to be stuck in a vault. And they hired a director. I haven't seen any of the movies.
So announcing that a director was is hired for this movie is akin to destroying one of the Horcruxes. Okay, like somewhere Ike is like, no.
It's fine though, because when the movie comes out, they're still only going to put out action figures of the male characters.
Right? Yeah. They'll put out a Hawkeye action figure.
They'll just put out another Captain America figure.
It'll be Captain
No,
America.
it's Cap as
in
an
her
ice block.
costume.
in her costume.
But he's also a block of ice.
It just says Captain Scarlet. American Widow. This is what you asked for, right?
God damn it.
She's Russian. Buy the toy. Stop asking questions. I'll cancel one of your shows. But Young Justice is coming back. Is it?
And he just takes out a phone, that seat with the button.
I'm sorry. We're talking about Ike, not a fucking Warner Brothers executive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
I mean, whoa.
City living.
But no, it's kind of the same thing though. From everything I've heard.
I swear, like I think like Warner Brothers has like a room full of like children they just kind of hold there who all love comic books and comic book related stuff, and every now and then they just walk up to them and like pick up the picture, like something they like, and just hold a gun to it. We'll do it.
I'm imagining it's more like the third prequel movie, and it's just Anakin running into the younglings. It just
There's too many of them. What are we going to do?
Have you seen that meme someone put together of like, I think it's actual dialogue from episode 2 where it's like, you don't train with the younglings? It's like, what are you kidding? I'd probably kill them. I haven't seen episode 2 in years because it's abysmal, so please no. So I can't confirm that's actual dialogue.
I don't even remember episode 2.
I don't either because there's no plot.
Who's the bad guy?
That was the first movie I ever saw in theaters.
Here's the thing about the bad guys. All I remember is that movie has a silly ass Legion of Doom-esque sequence towards the end where a bunch of like fucking stupid ass He-Man looking villains are standing around a hologram going.
Is that the one where Doom fights Yoda?
And then
Death
Star.
Okay.
That's the one with Ninja Yoda.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, the green volleyball Yoda.
You get that way too happy with CGI.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The movie, like the third act of that movie is just like George Lucas taking a bunch of CGI toys and slamming them together, going.
Actually, I think he was just eating a bunch of ice cream because I'm a big boy now and I can eat ice cream all day. And he just let them do whatever.
I'm sorry. What was the news story?
Something about a Scarlett Johansson movie that's actually going to happen.
Kate Shortland, just so in case anybody's
I don't want to discredit the story because this actually makes me excited because I fucking love Black Widow in the Avengers movies, and I like Scarlett Johansson. And good on her for possibly maybe backing out of that role that she was getting heat for, maybe for good reasons, maybe for not.
Red Main role.
Yeah. I stepped into that conversation for a second and then I slowly backed away. That was on purpose.
Yep. Homer Simpson all the way with that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I'm excited about this, I guess, because it's long overdue, this movie. And after what was like 150 directors that they went to make sure that they got it right, I'm glad that they picked a director.
I don't remember what group it was in, but someone made the comment, like after Black Panther, they realized they could make a movie about like whatever, and people go, I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Well, actually,
they should have. How was that not the lesson learned after someone said, "Hey, let's take a raccoon who builds guns and have him hang out with a talking tree, and he'll meet that guy from Parks and Rec, and then they'll go hang out with that hot girl from Star Trek."
Yeah, but none of them were minorities. So let's just.
Drew is played by Vin Diesel, and I don't know what he is.
But I'm saying the
he's
characters
Jewish
themselves.
and Italian.
Yeah, I'm saying the characters themselves. None of them were.
The tree is brown.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, Also, Zoe Saldana is green.
Yeah, true.
In real life, she's
but they're aliens.
Tan.
They're aliens.
Mm-hmm.
No, that was the thing you had said, Blue, about them like being more brave now about being diverse with their films after Black Panther. Someone I had seen had posted an article about Kevin Feige saying like, yeah, we've been trying to be more diverse. Black Panther was our first step in that direction.
Yeah,
I guess that, like they've been.
Okay, here's the thing, and this is kind of why I like Kevin Feige over like. I don't really dislike Kathleen Kennedy, but here's the thing, and I don't want to give any credit to these fucking idiots that we've like lampooned of the past like month or so. Mm-hmm. But the way you rile these idiots up is you put yourself in front of a microphone and go, "We're gonna try and make our movies diverse, okay?" And then they go, "Ah!" Mm-hmm. Whereas Kevin Feige was like, "We're making Black Panther," and just walked away.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that's all he ever does. He just says one word and drops.
Do something about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just watching on my phone while you guys were talking a teaser concept trailer for Star Wars Episode 9, and it's movie footage or footage from Last Jedi mixed in with fan shit.
Mm.
Way to stay on
Yeah,
topic, Al.
Yeah. Oh, no, that's not. Yeah.
Anyway,
one
I
major
mean,
news Star
what I
Wars
was
story.
I was gonna back that up with like, I don't think that being diverse or saying you're diverse, you're gonna do try to make more diverse movies is a bad thing. However, when you use it in such a PR way that Disney has with Star Wars, and to a degree the way that Sony did with Ghostbusters, like you gave these idiots more ammunition by trying to push back on them. It never works. You can't push back on them. Just fucking do it. Just
when you wield it like a blunt weapon instead of a scalpel, it's going to have the same effect as a blunt weapon would.
To tag on what Connor's saying, when they do this like announcing in like a very pandering-esque manner, it just annoys everyone because it's like, oh, you're just doing this to sell tickets and not actually wanting to do it. And then it also pisses off like the shitheads on the internet.
Yeah, because there's nothing wrong with the like an all-female Ghostbusters movie, an all-female Oceans movie. First of all, I haven't seen Oceans 8 yet. I fucking want to. And I don't hate the new Ghostbusters. However, like Sony and that director tried to puff their chest at these people like, well, it's your fault. It's like, don't stop talking to these people. Like, don't acknowledge them.
Exactly. Don't feed them.
Yeah.
Well, Paul Feig should know better as a comedy director, but But anyways,
but the thing was like, they just like, hey, this just by coming out and going like, hey, we have a director for the Black Widow movie. It's like, holy shit, you're doing a Black Widow movie.
Like, well, I think after Red Sparrow got released, they're like, all right, we can probably do this.
Well, no, first after Red Sparrow released, and then we disappeared like a fart. It went.
We can do this. I feel like all that movie will be known for is the movie that like Jennifer Lawrence was like, oh, I'm going to be naked in this, and then no one cared.
Oh, I didn't even realize.
Well, because you could look it up. You could just find those pictures.
When that came out, that's all I heard about it was like, oh, she just walk
sell a movie with nudity anymore. The internet is a thing.
Yeah. Again, I can find Jennifer Lawrence pictures naked right now. Yes. I can do it. I can find it in a second.
And some of them might not even be from the movie, so...
No, because remember the fappening?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. That terrible thing.
Ugh.
It's not just...
I mean that with sincerity, that's awful. You should not steal people's private shit.
No, it's terrible.
Didn't something happen with Tom Holland or something like that, too?
Yeah.
Tom Holland?
There was a... random dick pic that popped up somewhere on the internet.
Fucking
wow.
Tom Holland alone.
Also, okay, so the person who's looking for that, they don't necessarily know how old he is. So somebody who assumes that he's the age he is in Spider-Man went looking for those pics.
Before I get back to Black Widow, like, leave Tom Holland alone. Have you seen him in public? He looks like he's constantly surprised that he's famous.
Yeah.
Because I think he's
so good, though.
He's always like, oh, hello, I'll do a cartwheel. Okay, bye.
Well, and the thing I saw, he genuinely responded to it.
It was really good. It was a really good impression. Like, damn.
To continue with his, like, seeming, like, innocent and just happy to be there and famous now, like, he genuinely responded to, like, a tweet that Stan Lee had put out saying something about, like, oh, well, Tom looks exactly like the way I always envisioned Spider-Man, and I wonder how my good friend Tom is doing. And, like, he responded just like, I'm doing very well, Stan. I hope you're doing good too. Like what is going on?
I love him so much. I'm like, God, he's like how I want Peter Parker to be. But we'll rant on him later, if I want to. But here's why I want a Black Widow movie, because one, we'll finally get some payoff on where's Budapest. The goddamn Budapest. There we go. Like, we'll finally know what that means. I
bet that's a setup.
Yeah.
Like, I bet they do a trilogy, and that's the second movie.
That, and we've discussed on here before, like, the premise of Black Widow potentially having a run-in with the Winter Soldier years before Steve is aware of him. And maybe Hawkeye knows, too.
I mean, it's canon, so there's no reason it couldn't show up in the movie.
Exactly.
And there's so many other, like, that we've already had in these movies, like characters that they could have run-ins with, like Ghost from Ant-Man. just popped in my head. Like, wouldn't it be hilarious if they have just for like one scene, a quick thing with like Batroc from from Winter Soldier?
Yeah, and like I think one of the genres that Marvel has really kind of excelled at, that they've played with anyway, is like the spy genre.
Oh, the spy.
Their spy elements are awesome.
Winter Soldier.
Well, I mean,
that's kind of where I was like, holy shit, this isn't a superhero movie. I'm like, this is a straight up, it's a Bond film, but everybody has super strength.
It's a 70s espionage movie. Yeah, and that's the thing that's most interesting for me, at least, with Black Widow, would be that it would be their first film about somebody who doesn't have superpowers at all. Like, she's just amazingly talented as a spy, and I think that's an interesting aspect.
I kind of, every now and then I get into it with people who are just like, oh, Hawkeye and Black Widow are useless. I'm like, do you watch the films? Like, they are, like, there's a reason why they're still, no, I disagree, because...
Well, in the one movie, he's like basically the bad guy. He's a bad guy.
He's the first Avengers. Yeah.
Actually, I do know something that Hawkeye is useless in. Ultimatum.
Yeah. God damn.
Hey, Hunter, you motherfucker. He's a downright motherfucker.
Anyway, Jeremy Renner's said he doesn't like his performance in Avengers because he's just like, I'm basically a zombie until the last 20 minutes of the film. So he didn't get to play around with the character.
Those last 20 minutes, I think he shines. Like, that's really
a lot more in 2.
That's why, and I think anybody who gives Ultron shit is really ignoring the Hawkeye stuff, because that stuff's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, no, there's one scene that everybody decided that they hate, so they have to hate the entire movie.
Is it when Quicksilver dies?
No, it's the Banner and Nat stuff that everybody decides is the worst thing ever, and then they make it so that the whole movie is bad, because they can't separate scenes that they don't like.
Don't you love the payoff with like all that stuff in Ragnarok? With the
I do.
Getting real
I personally love that stuff.
Yes.
Lou. I think it's great.
I love that came back. I was like, oh my god, that's so perfect.
I think it's great,
like,
but there's a lot of other people.
Why do you keep saying that?
So good. I've been a big green rage monster for 2 years.
But yeah, I definitely want to. Black Widow movie sounds awesome because like it's this, like you can have more Shield. You can have lots of stuff that is gone from the MCU currently. You can. Thank you. That was my next thought.
Well, I'd seen an interview recently with Kevin Feige where he was talking about like the de-aging effects. I haven't seen Ant-Man and the Wasp, but I heard that Michelle Pfeiffer is de-aged in that as well.
Okay. First of all, Michelle Pfeiffer doesn't even need to be de-aged.
No, she doesn't.
My God.
But he, like, the interviewer was saying, like, well, with that stuff looking so amazing, like, is there any chance that you would do an entire movie using that? And he was very coy about it, but he's like, there's potential there because we've kind of had a test run with it with the last couple movies, and it's worked really well. So we'll just have to see what happens.
I think he basically
I'm sorry, Lou, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think he basically said in that interview, like, in Captain Marvel, they're going to be using it a shit ton.
Yeah,
because as great as Sam Jackson looks, like, they're going to have to give him a little boost from, like, special effects.
I think
honestly, I don't want them to do anything with Coulson except give him ridiculous hair.
Yeah. I mean, they've said as much, but like, and the thing about Sam Jackson, we brought this up on our Ant-Man review. There's so much footage of him from that specific time period that they can use as reference.
Yep.
I hope they give Coulson a soul patch.
Same. And there's a lot of footage of him also. Like, he was a character actor in the 90s, and he was in a lot of stuff, like, in the background.
Oh, yeah, he's been around for forever. He's married to what's-her-name from Dirty Dancing.
So, yeah,
it's
like,
really random.
They're going to look really good, because if in the past when those haven't looked as good, it's because they haven't had as much time, and they haven't had as much reference to compare to. That's what happens with any bad CG.
That's probably why the Kurt Russell one looks goddamn great.
The Robert Downey Jr. one made me feel like I was watching a different movie all of a sudden. Like at the beginning of Civil War, I was just like, how is this possible?
That one catches you off guard successfully, I might add, because you see it, you're like, what the fuck? That's
yeah.
Whereas like it's weird because Rogue One has two examples of that. One is amazing and one is like immersion shattering.
Yeah.
Tarkin is amazing in most of the time he's on screen, but sometimes you're like, that's a dead guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or yeah.
I think the
We
Leia
all-
one is weird also, like
Life
the
Force.
timing.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
so-
And then
Did
the
you
Leia
say
thing.
life force, Arlen?
Like
Yeah.
this is my running bit that when he's not in the shadows, he looks like the vampires from Life Force.
But then like the Leia thing pops up and you're like that's a CGI plastic dummy. That's
Yeah.
completely unconvincing.
No, they
for some
should have just
reason.
used her daughter. They
Yeah.
should have just
Yep.
used her daughter.
Yep.
It's close enough that we would have bought it. Like,
But I was also gonna say for this Black Widow movie, like you can probably throw rookie Sharon Carter in there.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
So there you go. Do something with
Yeah.
her that's not just standing around.
What I would like to see is
Mhm.
we did touch on it in the Agent Carter show, but like the background of the program
Yeah, exactly.
that Black Widow,
hmm
because they did go a lot deeper on it in Agent Carter, because they actually like find one of the compounds at one point in the first season.
Also, I take back that Sharon Carter thing's about standing around. She stands around in Civil War, but in Winter Soldier, she's fucking awesome.
Yes.
Well, in Civil
Yeah.
War, she commits treason.
Well,
yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Light,
Alan.
light treason. Yeah.
against Nazis.
But yeah, no, she has that fucking great scene against Rumlow.
Oh
in
my-
the fucking control room.
Dude, she stands up to like a fucking really, really scary human being.
Mm-hmm.
Frank Grillo is a terrifying man.
Yes.
Who has
works like that no more.
like in that movie especially just has no problem like just putting a massive gun to the back of some dweeb's head.
Mm-hmm.
And Sharon's like, you motherfucker, and then draws on him, and then 7 people draw on her, and she's like, yeah, what?
Well, Grillo is
So
a
good.
bad, like I can't remember what the name of the show is, but he's on like a MMA show on like Showtime or something like that, where he plays a fighter.
He was, it was one of the Jonas Brothers. Like,
Oh god, I thought the show. You just made me not like want to watch this show now. Thank you.
Well, I'm curious with the Black Widow movie if they'll have older versions of Shield, which I'm guessing they will. But I'm really hoping they'll have like the Shield jumpsuits that you see in the Marvel comics. Like, I would love to see somebody in the blue and white.
She kind of had it in the Iron Man 2.
Kind of, but I mean, I want the full-on like Shield
goofy
outfit.
blue,
Also,
Yes.
like, am I alone in wishing that Scarlett Johansson kept that awesome hairdo from Iron Man 2? It looks like fire.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like it was an accent on all the moves she did in that hallway sequence. It looked awesome.
Mhm.
I actually really did not like the blonde look in Infinity War.
No.
it works though for the story. So.
Well, that and
Yeah.
it was also playing an homage to the Marvel Knight storyline where there was a blonde Black Widow. So,
Yeah. Well, they actually if you haven't seen Agent Carter, they use that character in that show.
oh, they did. Okay.
Yes, that's where
Okay.
you get the backstory on the program.
Okay, that makes sense then.
But yeah, Black Widow, give it to me. I'll take it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I-
we want it.
I mean, we're all kind of at the point where anything Marvel puts out,
And
we want
yeah,
to
and also
see.
like, and for those who might be saying like, who the fuck wants that movie? Us.
Yeah.
You have a collection of 4 people, 5 people? How many?
Do you hear us, Ike? Are you listening to us?
Literally anything they put out, I'll be like, I'll go. Here's my $15. I'll go to the movie.
Yeah.
We are a collective bunch of individuals. Watch this, Arlen. Fifth Element's good. See, we disagree on things.
It is good.
See,
I'm not getting into this
We-
right now.
It's fine. I was using you as an experiment. As far as difference of opinion goes, all of us coming together on Black Widow.
Yes.
Anyways, point is, the last time I was against a Marvel movie was the Avengers because I was really into Edward Norton as Hulk. That's how deep my
Man,
Marvel love
I know
goes.
people were still like, I wish Edward Norton was back as the Hulk. It's like, dude, it's been like how many movies? Can drop it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I've learned that he was kind of a dick, so
Oh,
I'm like,
yes.
you know what?
Yeah.
Yeah. He and the director apparently were kind of big a-holes on that movie. So.
Oh,
Well,
makes
wasn't that
sense.
made by Louis Leterrier?
Mhm.
Yeah. I
It was
think
also
so.
like a Universal picture, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
The people who hold
Yeah.
Namor's
Louis
spoons.
Leterrier, who made my other favorite trash movie, Clash of the Titans.
God fucking damn.
Wait, the newer one or not the classic?
He also
No, not the
he also
classic.
directed. I think he directed all 3 of the original Transporters. I might be misremembering.
He did. That's
that.
kind of where he
Yeah.
got his name from.
Okay. I really enjoyed the first one.
It's like
First one,
yeah.
it's like what the fuck are those guys who made Crank?
Oh, the
Oh, yeah.
the
The guys who
not-
made Ghost Rider 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, like those dudes. Like, if you drop their name in a conversation, if it's not Crank 1, 2, or Ghost Rider 2, I don't want to hear anything about it. Like, I thought Gamer was terrible.
Neville Dean and Taylor, I
There we
think.
go. I don't think they're.
Yeah.
I don't think they're very good at a whole lot except for those three things.
They're
my
really
God,
good
Gamer.
at making visually interesting sequences. That's like I watched let me think. I watched one of because they've split up now. I watched one of their new movie, one of them's new movie, Mom and Dad, with Nick Cage and Selma Blair.
Oh,
man.
Selma Blair, what are you doing?
It's a bad movie.
Yeah,
but
really.
They are good in it. So
Selma Blair has always been like an actress I've had respect for, but she's in a Nick Cage movie. What is she doing?
Well, what has she done in since Hellboy 2?
Well, she doesn't need to do anything.
And she would do a whole she did a bunch of who is the guy who directed Welcome to the Dollhouse? I can't remember his name, but he's always done movies that are kind of like
Because the
a little
movies
bit.
that, when I think Selma Blair come to mind are the two Hellboys, Legally Blonde, and what is that 90s movies with Brian Phillippe and Reese Witherspoon?
Cruel Intentions.
Yes.
Yeah, Cruel Intentions. Those are like the 4 movies I think of.
There's like 4 sequels to that fucking movie.
Yeah.
So when you guys when you guys
Go
were
ahead,
bringing
bud.
up Neville Dean and Taylor,
yeah.
I instantly thought, wait, that sounds familiar. I realized those are the fuckers who wrote the Jonah Hex movie.
Well,
Yeah,
Holy
yeah,
shit,
Al,
they
we've been
did?
over-
Oh my
Al,
god.
we've been over
Well,
this
there
though.
were like 2 of 50 people that wrote that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
They did.
I
was saying that's the first that's the first canonical Franken DC film.
Yes.
Because
well,
if you
no,
watch-
there are others before that.
I mean,
like
we-
that whole thing because I think it's almost like they filmed 2 different movies and they cut them together.
Oh no, that I can't wait for us to watch that movie because it's like watching 2 movies struggle to exist in the same space.
Well, that's literally what it is.
Yeah, it's because you're like hold on, those aren't the same things. Like apparently that entire fight sequence that's stretched out throughout the film, like that's filmed in all red, that's like taking place inside Jonah's head. That's the 3rd act of the film. That's the climax that they just decided to like slice up and just put it in various places to pad the film out.
That seems like a good idea.
Yeah,
Ooh.
that's a very
Yikes.
Warner Brothers decision.
Yeah.
From the sound of it.
Yeah.
God
Is that the
fucking
first
damn
comic
it.
book movie that Josh Brolin did?
Yes,
Yeah,
I
probably
believe
is.
so.
Yeah.
Wow, even he got 2 redemptions.
Oh, have you guys heard his interview where he's like, "That's not the movie I wanted to make. That's not the movie I signed up for."
I forgot who's in this movie because it's him, Malkovich.
Dude, it's him, John Malkovich, Megan Fox, and
Fassbender.
god damn it, Michael Fassbender.
And Will Arnett.
Well, yeah.
I feel like Fassbender will do anything if he's just gonna have fun with the role. Like
Well,
this was before he was a
um,
guy. Like this was before X.
Yeah.
I don't think he has speaking roles in Jonah Hex. He's a weird tattooed guy.
Yeah,
Mhm.
he's like the villain's like henchman, like main henchman.
Yeah,
Right.
he's odd job.
Was this before he did the movie Hunger? God,
It's
but it's
the one that
after-
really
It's after 300 though.
It's 20.
it is, but even that didn't break him out. It's
Yeah.
the movie. It's the movie about a guy with a giant schlong that.
You mean his biographic?
Shame.
Shame. That's right. Well, I mean, it's his schlong, but still, it's the movie where everybody became
He did
obsessed
this
with
a
it.
year before he did X-Men.
Hmm
Wow.
And he broke out within that year.
Yeah.
Like,
He pretty much had more speaking roles on Band of Brothers than he did in Jonah Hex.
I didn't even know he was in Band of Brothers.
So many
He
people
is.
and so many current now.
I've heard that show is basically was like retroactive became a talent pool.
oh yeah.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
watch it and
Is
you
that
see young James McAvoy, and you're like, "Holy fucking shit! It's 20-year-old James
Or
McAvoy."
you could watch The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe to see that too.
Well, no, this is even younger than that.
Oh
This
yeah,
is
it was.
like-
You're right. I didn't.
Wait,
was
hold
over
on.
then.
This is-
Well, wait, hold on. Like the one with Tilda Swinton?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Who's in
He's
that?
Mr. Thomas.
He's Pan.
Yeah. He's
He's
the satyr.
Tom.
Shut the
Yeah.
fuck up.
He's
What's
the-
his name?
yeah.
Tomlinson or something.
Something like that.
That's
Yeah,
Thomas.
Mr. Tumman.
Yeah.
Mr. Tummins.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I am
the Satan.
legitimately stunned right now.
I can't believe you didn't know that.
I can't believe he is the one that they were like, that guy's going places.
Well, he did that, then he did Wanted, and everyone was like, holy shit, this guy can do stuff.
Because all those poor kids from those fucking movies have just disappeared.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, except for
the oldest boy.
Just like those movies.
Except for the guy who was Chris Caspian.
Actually, and Caspian, I think, is the better of the three of them. I think that Caspian's really fun.
Yeah, that's the
because Caspian's like that movie. Basically, its identity is weird. It's like, I know we're a PG film, but we're gonna go some places, okay? We're gonna have big, ridiculous, expensive-looking fight sequences.
That's the thing. Like, I watched the first one, and that was it because I was on a high off of Lord of the Rings. I'm like, oh, well, let's see how this is, because I mean, I remember reading the books when I was younger, and no.
The second one has a big. The second one has a big, open, colorful field siege sequence where, like, the forest weaves roots throughout this field and swallows an invading army.
Oh.
It's kind of awesome.
Huh. I'm not going to see it, but that sounds interesting.
You don't need to see any
There's
of them.
two big battle sequences, and like I think the end of the movie is like an actual duel between this like 15-year-old boy and an old seasoned king, and it's an actual fight.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
I was hoping it was going to be the lion in armor. Fighting with
I am almost positive that Peter Dinklage is in it as a badass little dwarf.
Of course he is.
No, it's a different dude, but
Is it?
I can see the confusion. But the Caspian, I can't remember the name of their kingdom, but like their design is really cool. Like their armor has a really cool design.
Oh yeah.
And they have like their trebuchets are even like
it's kind of
it's very well designed.
It's because I think that kingdom in particular is like it's supposed to have been founded by conquistadors who were like lost in some dimensional rift and ended up in Narnia.
Mm-hmm.
So all their stuff is Spanish influenced.
Yeah, well, that's look at their ship. Like it's obviously like a Spanish armada.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. I do have to say, I just looked at the IMDb and I was like, man, I remember the one kid in Chronicles of Narnia. Like I remember that face.
Oh yeah, he's on a shitty E show that my wife watches. Called...
Oh,
I'm sorry. No, the kid from the third one. One of the other friends. He was in We're the Millers. He was in The Maze Runner.
He's been everywhere. No, I'm talking about the first one. Like the older kid, he's in a show with Elizabeth Hurley on E about like a fake British royal family.
Yikes.
Yeah, the Royals or whatever.
My wife
wasn't someone from the cast in 28 Days Later.
I don't know. Maybe 28 Weeks Later.
No. I remember seeing like it was the guy who gets like bit early on and got hit in the face with the machete.
I can't remember very well.
I don't know.
Oh, you mean when they go back to Jim's parents' house and the fucking infected break in?
Yeah.
Oh, the blonde guy. He's familiar from somewhere, but I don't know where.
Okay. Anyways, this has been a very long.
So far off topic. So far in the weeds.
We didn't get
fine.
Whatever. We're off. We didn't get to the next story yet, or did we?
No, we haven't even started. I haven't even.
No.
Okay.
Hey, nobody's saying the Chronicles of Narnia from SNL.
Jesus Christ.
God. Jeez. Okay.
Well, I just finished my glass of Backwards Bastards, so.
It's so good.
Well, if you ever take a trip to DC, I brought a bunch of beer back from Italy, and I could share a bottle with you.
Oh. I don't ever leave my house, but I'll appreciate the offer.
You don't leave your house. You don't type things.
Nope.
You're just.
Nope. I can't do it.
I'm just here in my rocking chair.
I don't even have autofill. I don't know what that is.
You guys don't understand. I'm using a jitterbug. I'm not using an actual iPhone.
See, I think for some reason I heard your guys' voice, and all I can think of is the Napa commercials. Napa Know How.
Not sure.
You have no
I
idea
don't
what I'm
have
talking
cable.
about. No. It's like an auto repair thing.
I know what Napa is, but I don't have any idea what the commercial is.
I know what the commercial is.
It's literally people with that kind of accent going Napa Know How, and then that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, next story. Okay, Neil Blomkamp who we all know of. We all are aware of his film and his films. I mean,
Hold on, no, actually,
Hey.
the way you said that is very appropriate because we all remember District 9 and the rest.
District 9 and then his Oat Studio stuff. That's how I like to remember.
Right.
I think that's the only one I've seen.
Well, I like to say, if you fell asleep during half of Elysium, and occasionally woke up during parts, you probably thought it was a much better movie.
I like Elysium because I am very much enamored by the way it looks and the way it sounds and the way it feels.
That's the
So,
Matt
like-
Damon, Jodie Foster, Jesus techno movie.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's like I'm sorry to people out there who really don't like it, but everything in that movie design-wise just like makes my heart flutter. I think it's beautiful.
So,
I completely understand the people that don't like
His
it, though.
vision
Like,
of
I get
sci-fi
it.
is so compelling because his vision of
Yes.
sci-fi in the future is like he's like, no, we're not living in a glossy global unified utopia. Everything's a fucking mess. Oh, and the rich people live in the sky. Like
something interesting with Elysium before we get into the story. I had read that originally he wanted to have Eminem play the main character, and it was supposed to take Eminem, and it was supposed to take place in
8 Mile?
Detroit. Yeah,
Oh,
it was
I was
supposed to be
close.
future Detroit, and I think it was because of some of the demands from Eminem that they didn't actually end up doing it, and that's why they put Matt Damon in the role that was obviously meant for someone who's not white.
They could have. Well, Eminem is white, but
But no, I'm saying that the movie itself got turned into something else that shouldn't have been Matt Damon.
I also
in the
just
role.
like the idea of Matt Damon's character is not a strong man at all. Like he's kind of a putz who just like gets a death sentence, and everyone's like, "Well, you're fucked. Goodbye." And then he's like, "No, wait, hold on. I don't want to die." Like, he's like, yeah, put this metal shit into me. I'm good.
the only thing is, if they would have made that movie in Detroit, they could have saved sets because Detroit's already like
Yeah.
a bombed out dystopia.
Yeah, like we need to destroy this building. It'll cost you $5 to buy
but-
it. Okay.
But I think
30
Chappie
destroyed.
is an irredeemable disaster.
I can't even watch it.
Is that
I
the movie where they
think-
take like PS3s to make a robot?
I mean, I don't remember a lot of that movie because, like, I think at some point I was like, hold on, why the fuck is Hugh Jackman here?
No, why? I never saw it.
I
Why
forgot he
is-
was in that
I've never
movie.
seen that movie. So
Why is D. Artwood or Antwood, however you pronounce
Okay,
it?
and here's the
Yeah,
thing.
like-
Here's the thing. Like, I'm glad that he didn't do Elysium with Eminem, because if it turned out anything like how D. Antwoord is used in Chappie, it would have been abysmal because they are nauseatingly overused in Chappie. Like, the film was basically about them.
well, it's because he's South African and they're South African, and
Yeah.
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
they're unlikable shit stains in that movie, and I'm supposed to give a fuck one of them dies. Spoilers for Chappie.
I mean, go ahead. I mean, I don't know. I mean, watching a movie where we talk about how Eminem still has a DVD porn collection, that would be interesting, I guess.
But and the thing is, like, and before I get to RoboCop, like the thing with Chappie is that like there's stuff in that movie where you go, you had something really cool here, and you pissed it down your leg.
isn't Chappie
Because
like
it's-
Short Circuit? But like,
It's even no, it's
DC
worse.
Dark?
It's way worse. Not DC Dark. Like Chappie stumbles across a dogfight, and that's how he figures out what life and death is. And it's heart wrenching because he's sitting there with his dying pit bull, and he's like, "What do you mean? What is death? I don't understand this. What do you mean it just stops?"
Ugh.
And then he has a conversation with his creator. I'm like, that is devastating. But then Dean shows back up, and then you're like, oh, this movie sucks.
Before we quickly, just a quick thing. Do you think his Alien movie would have been good?
I
mean,
mean, I
I-
think
I-
it would have been interesting.
I think
Yeah.
visually, it would have been interesting, but plot and directing.
It feels just snap judgment. I mean, it looked interesting, the sketches that came out, but I feel like it would have been a little bit too slavish to what came before it.
Yep.
I think it would have had the
Wait,
same problem
That-
Stranger Things season 2 would have had.
better
or had.
or worse than Alien Covenant?
No, well, here's the thing. I think the problem with doing an Alien 5 now with anybody is that you would have to watch the movie bend over backwards so hard it snaps in half to try to mend itself into the canon. Like it would break everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like there's a lot of things that you would have to
like the alien universe as we know it is apparently supposedly one solid line, and then to just introduce that, and it's like Prometheus and Covenant are already confusing enough. And then that would have been like, okay, what is this?
Yeah.
Is this like Terminator where you just have several branching timelines, none of them fucking matter? Like, is continuity a thing?
Is the game...
Because even Predator's doing that. Because Predator's even doing that now. They're like, oh yeah, we're incorporating stuff from all of the films. I'm like, I don't know what you mean by this.
They're solidifying that canon more than they've ever have.
Yeah.
Really, like they're making things that happen in Predator 2 count.
AVP 2.
Yeah, AVP 1 and AVP 2.
And Predators.
But Neil Blomkamp's RoboCop is the thing I hope that he gets to redeem himself with.
Yes. Yeah, I'm hoping
I think it's his best chance.
I'm hoping it's an M. Night Shyamalan story where he comes back with something that none of us expected.
Yeah.
My biggest...
this should have been his first thing out the gate.
Well,
after District 9.
This should have been... Well, District 9's great for someone who's like, oh, it's his first major film. Holy shit, that's an incredible first step. I think, like, Chappie shouldn't have happened, and any ideas he had with dealing with existentialism and, you know, an artificial life form, and, like, dealing with that should have been saved for RoboCop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I think we may have talked about this on Video Game Hour, but his first movie was supposed to be Halo.
Yeah, District 9 was supposed to be Halo.
Yeah,
Which
a lot of things.
Honestly, here's the thing. I would let the Halo movie die in a fire to get District 9, okay?
Yeah.
Me too.
To get District 10 or District 11 or whatever.
Yeah.
Seriously, and I would let Halo die in a fire just to get oh shit, what's the name of the short film? It's like Something Over Joburg. It's a short film that inspired District 9. Because that short film's great too.
Yeah, it is.
And
Well,
it gave us Charlton Copley, and thank God for Charlton Copley.
Well, to go even further, I would let Halo die in a fire if it would fund one of his various Oates films.
Holy shit!
Shorts.
Yeah, please give me the River God movie.
Yes. Well, Fireteam is supposed to be getting a film. I remember Canadian Connor was talking about that. Anyway, sorry, Arlen.
Yeah. I mean the one what's the name of it where the people like stick together into like this, that one is the one I want to see. Zygote, yeah. I want Zygote so bad as a movie because Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
But I think that Blomkamp can do some interesting because it's supposed to be a sequel to the Kidman one. I think
the first one.
I think it's
okay. Well,
it's a sequel to the reboot.
I have a story.
I thought it was a sequel to the original.
Okay. I have the actual Deadline article, so I'll read this a little bit. MGM is developing a new installment of the RoboCop, and has set District 9 director Neil Blomkamp to helm the picture. It's titled RoboCop Returns. The studio hopes to revive the franchise that began with the Paul Verhoeven film released by Orion. So this is the legendary Old Man Conan idea. In which you just go back to the last movie of the original franchise.
So
wait, hold on. Who the fuck do you get to play Alex Murphy now?
I mean, they can bring it. They can get him to come back, right? You can get Peter Weller to come back at this point.
I heard he was teaching at like a school.
Yeah, but he would come back because I can't imagine they would have him in for very long. So they just need to get a mold of his face for some of the scenes. And
we were just talking about CGI stuff, just like
that's true.
Dude, can you imagine a fucking old grizzled Peter Weller's face on like a giant, ridiculous, bulky, convincing CGI RoboCop body just beating the shit out of people?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
There's an even greater thing about this.
Oh, I was gonna say my only thing with this whole movie is that like. The concept of RoboCop is kind of a weird thing to bring up in 2018.
Yeah.
Like,
because a lot of the stupid shit you saw on TV in that movie is real.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, the concept of it, because it's like a very like
totalitarian government concept,
fascist corporate.
See, here's the thing: like, you know how we've been lampooning the Watchmen TV series? We've been like, "Hey, stop doing this whole Trump's America thing." There are some properties that can get away with it because it's in their roots. Yeah. And I think RoboCop it was ahead of this curve a long time ago, and I think like inserting the present day stuff into Watchmen is just hackneyed.
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
that
I
was-
think there's
Well,
certain
you can have
concepts-
go ahead.
I was gonna say there's certain conflict that like we just talked about with using Detroit, using that city, and like stuff with cops right now that would be interesting. But like I just feel like this film, if it's not perfect and like it's balancing like the political stuff, like it can get like fucking destroyed on
Because
Oh,
like,
yeah,
and
yeah,
I'm not saying
totally.
RoboCop should try to do a Trump's America thing, but like RoboCop can tackle police brutality in a really interesting way because like I don't know, what if Alex Murphy's like, why did you shoot that kid or something
Yeah.
like that? And
Well, I mean,
he's
so,
struggling.
like-
He's like prime directive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, 'cause, I mean, I'm assuming that they'll ignore at least RoboCop 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most likely RoboCop
Jetpack
3.
cop.
Arlen.
Wait, which one is the one where the kid gets killed?
2.
That's
You have to be specific because a kid gets killed in
The
number
kid
3 as
gangster.
well.
The kid
Oh,
gangster.
yeah.
That's what,
Yeah.
that's exactly what I was talking about.
Arlen,
Yeah.
does it say who's rewriting the script that Ed Newmeyer and
Let's see.
And also, before we look at it, like think about how, like if you're Alex Murphy, you're essentially immortal. Like, let's say in that universe, I don't know how many years has it been since the last RoboCop movie? 30 years.
Easily.
Advance that world by 30 years and show me Alex Murphy, who's like, what happened?
Well, and Lewis, with your concerns about police in general and how to handle that, the one thing that RoboCop has had going forward, or at least the first two did, with Verhoeven directing, if not producing at least the second one, they always had a healthy amount of satire in there that was just mixed in well enough that it didn't come across as something that was supposed to be telling a story about what's going on in the world. It was a more fanciful view. And that's something Verhoeven has always been really good at, is doing satire mixed in with his movies.
Yeah, I that's what I'm saying. Like, I think if they don't hit those points, this could be really ugly. Like in many ways, in like the current kind of time, because there are a lot of, like you said, there's a lot of tongue-in-cheek stuff, and like he is badass. Like, didn't the city of Detroit in real life build a statue for RoboCop?
Yes, they did.
Yeah, there's like a lot of stuff where this movie can work. It's just like in a 2018 with all the stuff that's been going on, like this could easily go really bad.
Then you take the approach that Ryan Coogler took with Creed, and you take it as dead seriously as possible.
But I guess one of my fears is that like, and I do like Blomkamp, but like he's also not American, so I hope that he can kind of figure out. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
that, like,
actually, wait, no, now I definitely want to see this because I want to see. I want to.
Well, and I mean,
when someone who's not from this country commentates on it, and someone's like,
South Africa.
to be fair,
Yeah,
Verhoeven is German or Dutch, or no, what was he?
that's
Swiss?
There was also like but I mean like in 2018 a South African, I think Blomkamp's white, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He is, yeah.
Creating a cop in Detroit in America, like Detroit, Michigan.
And South Africa isn't exactly known for its
There's like a lot
quality
of
of life
pieces
for
here
people
that
other
can
than
go-
whites.
Yeah, there's a lot of pieces here that can look really bad on the internet.
I mean, okay, so we don't know anything about the story of this because I'm not seeing anything on the actual story of what they're actually going to make.
No, they haven't said anything. I just know it was like a sequel to the original.
It's
in
a sequel to
some
the
way.
original, and I wouldn't be surprised if they do try to go for the tone of the originals, which is what I would prefer.
Yeah.
Because my biggest problem with the Keaton Kinnaman movie is that they tried to change the tone.
Yeah.
And that's why people didn't go
well, they
see
tried to change the tone, but didn't want to take any risks.
it. Mm-hmm.
So it's this kind of like it's super sterile. It's serious, but without any like real edge to it.
Yeah,
that original
there's
movie
nothing
is, like,
interesting
the
about it
original movie
at
was
all.
Really,
Actually, no. There's one scene in the RoboCop reboot I think is fascinating, and it's something they couldn't do with the originals because of special effects. It's when Murphy's like, "Show me what's left of me," and they pull all the machinery off him, and he's just like a left hand, a pair of lungs, and a head, and he's like, "Oh my
Right.
God, kill me!"
Yeah,
But after he
but
sees
then
what
that-
he is, he's like, "Put me out of my fucking misery."
Yeah, but that didn't have any follow through.
No, it's there, and like in the vacuum, you're like, "That's really cool," and then it's just, and then he's like, "I'm a robot now."
Yeah, it's like it'll be interesting to see what they do. I really do. Here's the thing: I will be more excited if they get Peter Weller to come back, and again, if they are ignoring 3, if they bring Nancy Allen back, that'll get me excited. And
I would be happy with just two things in the movie.
Yeah,
There be your 2 things. I'm ready for it, Alan. Give it to me.
I'm really excited about this.
It better not be the twin ninjas from part 3.
No. The theme, the classic theme.
Alan.
And obviously his catchphrase.
Well, yeah, Al, those are things that could be cool, but
Damn it, Alan! I'm so disappointed in you.
I was hoping it would be
thing,
something interesting, like I hope he shoots a bunch of people in the dick in this
I
one.
wanted you to be like, I hope Clarence Bodiger comes back from the dead with a giant hole in his neck.
Yeah.
Bitches leave.
I would like it if
the PlayStation door at 75 years old dead and goes, bitches leave.
I would like it though if an older Ray Wise came back and he was speaking backwards and
What were you gonna say, Lou?
I was saying, I hope they keep the color scheme from the original.
Yes.
And I hope that they make him like, and I guess in my mind, if like with what they say they've been going with, I hope that he's almost like never been upgraded.
He's constantly just he's not part of the police force anymore. So he's just like fixing himself for 30 years and is just kind of this like junk heap of like old designs.
I would love if they have like newer designs, but like they're not as durable, you know?
Yeah.
Like they're like built like cheap.
Yeah, here's the thing,
less human.
Because exactly, like Alex Murphy's Two Humans, they just made Robo Drone Cops, but these things are like they're basically just they're glass
drones.
Cannons and they could just be destroyed. And Alex Murphy's like this big hulking fucking massive destructive machinery.
The police department just uses them as like a thing for like press conferences.
Yeah, like Captain America for a while in the first movie. See, I was going to go the opposite way. I was going to say like an interesting idea would be to have that Alex has been continually upgraded, whether he wanted to be or not. So he's this hulking monstrosity that isn't even anywhere near human anymore. Like at this point, he would be essentially like a human face within an Ed 209 somewhere. And
that would be interesting.
And that there will be a new generation, or not new generation, but someone new is going to be put inside of like a newer RoboCop body, and kind of do what they did in the original part 2, and
actually
have him become the Kane character.
Damn it! Okay, we're all on. We are all on weird wavelengths tonight, and we're all on the same wavelength.
But all of these are interesting.
I was like, because I was about to say, what if you took him to the point where he's gone so far where he becomes a bad guy, and he perceives himself as like a godlike figure because he's just assembled himself into all this fucking machinery and technology.
Yeah. I'm in. You just gave me an idea where he's almost like he is like the judge, almost like he is, or he is like this kind of built into the machine of the city, and he is the law. But the other thing,
what if they got Carl Urban for this?
I don't know where you came up with that, but I like it.
No, it was like a younger RoboCop. It was like the new guy.
The one thing I would love to see that I think
did a soft reboot
that I think would fit in this world is if like the cops had sponsors like NASCAR.
Oh,
holy shit!
That would be interesting.
We need to cut this recording out and send it to fucking MGM.
Because in that world, that's what would happen.
Actually, no, they would listen to us.
Well, okay, so to go on something that we were talking about earlier with the whole not commenting on Trump thing when Watchmen and how we don't like that. If the character from the first 2 movies, who is also the main bad guy in Halloween 3: Season of the Witch, if he had a son who was kind of a maniac who was running OCP and running for political office. Yeah, but his son, so Dick Jones Jr. And
you can't kill me. I work for Dick Jones.
DJJ.
Yeah, but it would be terrible if he just ran and his political poster just said "Dick" in giant letters. Because, like that's where we are in the future.
Or it just says "Work for Dick."
God damn it. So good. But no, like that would be interesting as sort of a a comment on Trump. If they did it well. If not, it would just be like, why are you doing this? Why is this happening right now?
I think that's the difference. Like commenting on it with an interesting like line or joke or reference is one thing, but just copying and pasting is not fun to me.
Yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of interesting things. Like, what if they shut RoboCop's body off, but not his brain? So it's just running. So like he doesn't do like I am not Alex Murphy. He like talks like a human now because his brain's just had time to process and like, you know, figure out how to do this. So like it's just Peter Weller, and maybe they give him like awesome monologues, which would be fantastic because anybody who's ever watched The Dark Knight Returns animated films.
Let me tell you something. I never imagined that Peter Weller would be one of my favorite Batman.
Well, or even have him be kind of like the Firestorm Matrix, where like there will be someone new who's RoboCop, but he would be a ghost in the machine, and he would be the one who's kind of not. But I mean, you wouldn't even have to. I mean, you would obviously. See
I'm into
because
that.
It's Peter Weller, but have him be like, you know, wait, no, this is what's actually going on. That he's existed within the mainframe that they have this guy connected to, because obviously the internet is going to play some sort of part in this.
I mean, I don't like that this is my frame of reference, but he's kind of like the Zordon in a weird way.
So I was going to say it was kind of like Nova and was he speak to in the thing?
Nova Prime or what? No, it's Nova Prime, I guess.
Yeah, Nova Prime. Yeah, whatever. Because it's like he has the thing, and there's like the complete intelligence of Zandu.
Like Piccolo
Xandar,
and Kami. What?
God damn it. There are so many different ways that we could go with this. But yeah, this is, I don't know. As long as they do something, I guess I don't want them to just remake RoboCop 1, but update it. Like, don't do that. Although, seriously, bring back Ray Wise. I will forgive you. Bring back as many people as you want. I don't care if they died. Just as long as you do it right, it will be interesting.
Who was Ray Wise in the first RoboCop again?
He's one of Bodegar's like fucking henchmen.
Oh my god, he is.
Yeah, his henchmen are an eclectic group. If you go back and look at them.
The guy who fell into the vat of acid and his body reformed after he got hit by a car.
Didn't they put his brain into one in the other movies?
No, that was Kane who got put into the giant robot in part 2. Unless you're talking about part 3 at some point.
Okay, I haven't seen him in so long.
Of course, I
am one of those people who have seen all of the live-action RoboCop properties, and I mean Prime Directives.
I haven't seen the newest one. That's the only one I have not seen.
Something else, though, to keep in mind, gentlemen, is there was a string of RoboCop comic books that were written by Frank Miller.
Yeah.
And I really, really hope they don't pull anything from there. I mean, he also wrote the second movie, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, but I was gonna say, I really love RoboCop to the point where I watched all Prime Directives on Sci-Fi as if it was something I was anticipating because I couldn't believe there was a new RoboCop, and there were 2 RoboCops in that little miniseries. One was another partner that Alex Murphy had who gets killed after he becomes a RoboCop, and then that guy becomes a RoboCop.
Good.
What the fuck is this, bro?
And then they fight. It's awesome.
Oh, that's great, actually.
So it's robots not robots.
Yeah, it's pretty rad. It's pretty stupid, but it's kind of cool.
This town is sick of the robot cops.
How do you solve a RoboCop problem? By throwing RoboCops at it.
Yes. Need more robots.
What's the next story?
That Godzilla image, and I'm gonna read the synopsis real quick for Godzilla, King of Monsters. The world is reacting to Godzilla in the same way we would react in any terrifying incident, and that we are overreacting, says Michael Dougherty, whose previous credits include the horror movie Krampus. Godzilla hasn't been seen since that destructive finale. There's paranoia and endless speculation about whether or not he's the only one out there, or whether we're threatened by others like his kind.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Because I like the idea of the world reacting to Godzilla, because in the Godzilla movies, it seems like Godzilla crawls out of the ocean and tramples over half of Tokyo fighting a giant moth, and Japan is always the one reacting to it, and the rest of the world is like, huh. Anyway.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, which image are we talking about? Because like I googled it, and
Is
there's
the
a
one where he's
lot.
breathing the atomic breath into the sky?
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if you were talking about the ones with like the other monsters that they just show the faces,
Oh,
which
yeah.
I don't even know if that's real.
What?
I don't think it is. I think the only official picture has been the one of him breathing the
Well,
atomic
there were
fire
two.
into
There
the
was one
sky.
of that, and one of Millie Bobby Brown and Vera Farmiga.
Mm-hmm.
I just
Boy, I hope they have more to do than Aaron Taylor Johnson did in the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, if they nail Godzilla the way that they did in that movie, though, I'm fine with it. Like, give me that. And they've already announced Rodan, Mothra, and Ghidorah. Just get Ghidorah right. I don't care about Mothra or Rodan, but if you get Ghidorah right, I'm in.
Ghidorah's the three-headed dragon, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's King Ghidorah, I thought.
Because
I've heard it both
just
ways, but
randomly,
yes.
Okay.
the brewery I work for every year does like a pub crawl, and they do like a different theme of like a monster. And last year, which was my first year, it was a Ghidorah glass.
Mm.
So I have a T-shirt that has like our thing, and then it has like Ghidorah on the shirt, and then like a glass.
And I understand people who had issues with the first film because there is on revisits that movie is brutal until Godzilla shows up. Not that it's bad, but it's so slowly paced. You're like, oh my god, fucking get out of the ground.
There are a lot of good sequences, but then there's stuff in between those sequences where it's like, can we just go? Can we just
and then while you're waiting for stuff to happen, you're like, no, wait, bring Bryan Cranston back. That's not fair.
All the humans that aren't Bryan Cranston suck.
I came here for him.
No, I think Ken Watanabe, he carries the movie for like another 15 minutes after that.
So every white person that's not Bryan Cranston can go fuck themselves in this movie.
Well, no, I think David Stratham is great also. Like, it's just that, like, the person who you're told you're supposed to follow for the rest of the movie, he's not doing his job.
Well, I don't even remember, David, is it Stratham or Strathan?
I've always said Stratham, but
I think it's like Aaron Taylor Johnson's character might as well be like standing like from a perspective where he's in the ground, you're kind of looking up from his shoulders, and his back is to you, and then he turns around and goes, "You see that? Yeah, look at that. All right, now let's go to the train. All right, let's go."
I mean, that movie might as well be found footage. It would not make any sense, but it would be better served if it was. It's
got transitions. Like Aaron Taylor Johnson just gets to places like. Who here has played the Ninja Gaiden games for Xbox?
Yep.
I have.
Yeah.
Okay, like here's in Ninja Gaiden, you go from you're at a ninja castle, now you're in a blimp, now you're at a train station, and like it's not like you teleport, like you see yourself going there through impossible means, and that's how the first Godzilla feels because Aaron Taylor Johnson is just like a leaf in the wind. He's like, I'll go wherever you take me.
See, I feel like that was kind of their thing with the old Godzilla movies, where there would be like the human protagonist would just like go and do dumb shit, and we would just follow them. And it always sucks, but it was kind of their effort at doing that. It wasn't good. I'm just saying that's why.
Yeah, it comes off.
No, you're not wrong.
If the plot was a river, Johnson was a small piece of wood that just floated along and bounced off of obstacles.
So
I mean, literally a piece of wood, though. That's the thing.
That's why I compared it, because he doesn't do anything. He just stares at stuff.
Well, and as much as... Oh, go ahead, Lou.
I was going to say, it's all I can think of is Plank from Ed, Edd n Eddy.
Well,
yeah,
as much as I think Elizabeth Olsen is a very talented actress, they could have just replaced her with a carrot on a stick, and they would have been about the same.
So I think I've watched this movie more recently than any of you. I'm pretty sure, because Hunter isn't on with me. And we had to rewatch it for Lost Haro. Rewatching that movie, the first half an hour when Bryan Cranston is alive, literally everybody who he's on screen with ups their game. Like, they're all acting better, and Aaron Taylor Johnson is actually doing a good job. The moment Cranston dies, his performance just goes out the window. It's like he's not even there. He becomes that piece of wood. So I think that's the problem. Is it's not just that Cranston isn't there; it's all the energy is sucked out with him. It seems.
After Cranston's gone, aren't most of his scenes like by himself, just like walking and doing dumb shit?
Well, he saves that kid on the train when he's in Hawaii.
Yeah. But it's him, and it's him and like people who were actual like military people who, nothing against any of them. They aren't the best actors, some of them.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, Clint Eastwood. Like some of them are just not good at acting, and Aaron Taylor Johnson has nothing to do. And his best scenes after Cranston dies are the scenes where he's acting against Godzilla. Because Godzilla is so well animated.
Godzilla has that like natural charisma that you get.
Yeah.
Godzilla's also thick in the American one.
He is.
Yeah,
he's a big old boy.
He had a tough training camp. He was going up a weight class.
He had to.
Real lizards have curves, okay?
And
he needed it.
Cut off teeth like Brock Lesnar.
God damn it!
That needs to be a Photoshop.
I don't have much I'll say about Godzilla except, give it to me. I'll take it.
If they somehow top him shooting his fire breath down a giant monster's stomach.
Okay. This is the point I was gonna make earlier. Here's the thing about the first Godzilla. It's made by it was a puzzling choice. By the way, it was an interesting choice when I heard the director, whose name is escaping me at the moment.
Gareth Edwards.
Okay, Gareth Edwards directed a movie called Monsters.
Yes.
That spends almost its entire run keeping you away from the monsters and just showing you what they have done, and it's super compelling.
It's great.
He tried doing that with Godzilla, but the problem is Godzilla is like if monsters. That's the thing. If Monsters is like an art show, Godzilla is a pro wrestling match. You want to see the fucking power bomb, like you want to see the big spot, and holding that off for so long, I can see can kind of sour people.
That is the greatest analogy I've heard for Godzilla ever.
I can see it, but I also am like, but I buy into the whole Jaws thing of that was the idea,
and that's his school of thought is because like you can go with the Jaws approach, the alien approach, where you show so little of it that when it pops up, you're like, ugh.
See, but Godzilla should be Stone Cold Steve Austin. You should just hear the glass breaking.
Godzilla is kicking down the door and slowing down.
If your preference is Jaws the Revenge, then I guess, but like
drinking beer, just pulling off like
because especially if we are building towards like a WrestleMania-esque. Look, we are literally promoting a pay-per-view right now. Like they're building up towards King Kong versus Godzilla. This is pro wrestling. Like it's to a T.
Here's my question: the Pacific Rim aspect of that die?
Yes.
Of that like three-way fight.
Well, that was always like a fan rumor thing. It was never. I don't think it was ever actually going to happen.
If they really want to do this, if they do, at some point Godzilla versus King Kong, the second part of that has to be plus robot.
I mean, here's the thing. There are already mechs in the Toho universe that they can do.
I can't remember which one it is. Is it like Gatchaman or what's the...
Ultraman, Gatchaman.
They can do Ultraman. They can do... what is it? Silver Jaguar or something?
Jet Jaguar.
Jet Jaguar.
That's what I'm thinking of. Is Jet Jaguar.
Yeah. And they can do...
Jet Jaguar.
Okay. Here's the thing. If I as a man in my possibly 30s, maybe just turning 40, walk into a movie theater and see fucking Ultraman on screen, I think I may actually have a heart attack and die.
I don't think we'll ever see Ultraman because his rights are all tied up and shit.
Yeah, I was thinking of Jet Jaguar, who looks a lot like Ultraman.
Or like fucking Superhuman Cyber Squad, or was it Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad? Like those dudes.
Like that.
Yeah, but there's another mech who's canon that Toho has in the 90s, or no, this is in the Millennium series. In the Millennium movies, it does eventually turn into Mechagodzilla, but they can just make it into a different mech altogether. So yeah, like they'll do that stuff. They're going there, I think. They'll do a lot of weird stuff.
If this one does well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, I think this one. I don't think it's a question of if this one does well. It's a question of, does this do like upper mid-level Marvel numbers?
Yeah.
I think it depends.
That's
on
the question.
If they market this, no matter what, as like, hey, go with your friends, be drunk, eat your edibles, and watch giant monsters fuck each other up. it'll make bank.
Yeah. Well, because they have 3 monsters in this one, so they better.
It's like, do you want to watch Godzilla like face fuck a 3-headed dragon? Yes, come see this movie.
Yeah. Do you want to see 3 monsters talk to each other about the fight they're about to have, and then go have that fight? I just want to see
someone edit like a Godzilla promo, like with Macho Man as the voice.
Like... I mean, Freddy vs. Jason promoted that film by having an actual weigh-in in Las Vegas with Robert Englund and Ken Kersinger, like sitting there at fucking tables.
You know what?
Which is funny because it's just Robert Englund talking shit, and Ken Kersinger just like turning his head and staring at Robert Englund.
They need to cast The Rock.
Yeah. I mean, we know Legendary has the money based off of our next story, but they have the money to like call out, like, I don't know, a carrier or something to do weigh-ins.
Didn't Rampage make a decent amount of money?
It did. There's going to be a Rampage too.
Yeah, that's actually. What I'm saying. Obviously, you need to cast The Rock, but like, if you can do like Rampage, basically built that movie as like, do you want to see a white monkey, a crocodile, and a wolf fuck up a city, and The Rock? Watch this movie. Like, if they just do ads like that, I think Godzilla, this second one, will sell well.
I want to pivot us off the story because I just stumbled across something super interesting. And we haven't discussed it in the show yet, and that's actually probably my fault because I've been the one following it the most. So, Reddit has a subreddit called Thanos Did Nothing Wrong. And they announced that on July 9th, they were going to recreate the snap, and they were going to do a mass ban of half of that subreddit's members. And this is all in good fun. Everybody's kind of in on it. To get this event going, they had Josh Brolin actually post a video where he snaps again and says, "Here we go, Reddit."
Yep.
Wait, of all of Reddit?
No, just
that subreddit.
Just that subreddit.
Oh, so if they had balls, they would do all of Reddit.
Well, that would actually be restoring balance to the universe.
That would also destroy the internet.
Yeah,
it would.
It would be so great
because like all those like fucking shitty ass subreddits filled with like hateful, terrible cocksuckers like would sit there like, I can't get on my Twitter account because of comic book movies. Or my Reddit account, my bad. Whatever, it's all the same shit to me. But I think that's super interesting that little thing has come this far.
Well, and
that is awesome
because the Russo brothers, or at least one of them, or did both of them chime in on this?
Both of them joined the subreddit under like aliases, like pseudonyms, so no one would know they were there. They've been monitoring the whole thing.
It would be great if they were like Russo 1 and Russo 2.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I'd seen somebody point out, like, one of them has to die just to make it even. Like, you can't have them both die because that wouldn't work for Thanos' plan.
Well, yeah.
And I think that this will go until like Avengers 4 comes out, and however they undo the snap. I think that's when all these people will have their memberships back, which I think is like a really cool long-term commitment to a fan thing.
Yeah.
It's a great idea to create internet fervor.
Well, that, and I'm sure Marvel's loving it because it's giving them free advertising.
Yep.
Do they even need advertising?
No, but
not at this point.
It's more free advertising, essentially.
Because at this point, I'm waiting for like my local like mouse church that I can like donate money to and tithe. Is Disney World not basically the Vatican?
Well, no, that's what IMAX screens have become for me. Like, that's my tithing to the Disney mouse is, oh, I'm going to IMAX now. Okay.
Yeah, the Hall of Presidents is basically like the crypt underneath the Vatican.
Eat of
here's
this
the thing.
bullwhip transubstantiation.
I would go to a Disney church and just walk in and let them scan my barcode. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Hi!
Yeah.
That way of Star Wars, right? Thanks.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Hooked on a Feeling is playing?
It'd be like the Protestant and Catholics, except, one group is into the Marvel side and the other side's into the Star Wars stuff.
Yeah.
And since, Disney is so, maybe sometimes to a fault, politically correct, like, a fucking neo-Nazi walks out and Mickey's like, haha, get the fuck out!
I was gonna make a joke that like the Lutherans are Namor.
God damn it.
They're just like they're there to the side and everyone's forgotten they existed.
No, they're the Gnostics. They're the the Gnostic faith.
We kind of believe in something, but we're not really sure it's there.
Oh, like I told you, Namor is like St. Peter's bones. Somebody found them by accident in a closet.
They're in a
It's like
suitcase.
King Tut. They just like, oh shit, look what we found. But it's been ransacked. There's nothing here except bones.
And a cigar that's still lit for some reason.
Oh, that's where I left that. Sorry, they never burned out.
I forgot my hepatitis medication.
Yeah,
Someone dropped it into the saline solution.
You need to
keeping
name
my
this
head
character.
fresh.
He has a name.
Oh, what's
What
his
is
name?
Wait, hold on. It has to be something really old-timey Hollywood sounding.
I think it should be like
It's,
Harold Weinberg.
No, okay. I had a
No,
name,
it
but
has
now
to be.
I can't
No,
find
it has to be like. It has to be like. I don't know, like Zep something. Like.
My name's
Goddamn.
Zabulian, but you can call me Zeb. Have you met
Is
my
that
wife,
Sinclair?
Gretchen?
My mother's from Croatia, but I was born here.
All I can think of is if you ever remember the South Park episode where like Earth is a reality TV show. It's like, oh my god, suck my jag on.
Yeah.
My mother's Croatian. I was born in New York.
I'm made of New York.
In
I
1895.
raised to Hollywood. I was Hollywood. I was the only one here for a long time.
All the parts keeping me still alive are made out of things made in New York. You see, this
Also-
used to be a hot dog machine.
I
Also,
was Sid Williams,
also
but way before
dead,
it was cool.
dead Hollywood actors are comprised of most of my body.
Dead Hollywood actors, mostly hookers, let's be honest. Oh, saline is low.
Anyway,
God
I imagine
damn
this
it,
character
wow.
also like he no longer has a body. He's like that fucking face stretched across two poles from Doctor Who.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the face
yeah,
of
he
Buzz.
is.
Yeah.
No, Cassandra, the last human.
Yeah, Cassandra, the last human, who just skin needs to be moisturized all the time. Oh my god, moisturize me.
God damn.
But it's him, so he's like, moisturize me, yes. What's the last? Oh my god, what's the
Oh, okay. Last a movie that's never going to happen. But
Oh shit! I
they-
forgot we were talking about this. That's pretty much
Yeah.
all we have. That sums up Gundam.
So yeah, last week they announced that they're Legendary is producing a Gundam film. I guess it's not gonna come out. It's just not. I don't believe it for a second that they'll actually get this made.
Spawn is going to happen before a Gundam movie does.
Yep.
Well, I'm a huge Gundam fan. Like I saw the last one they did.
yeah. I haven't watched anything Gundam related in a long time, but Gundam Wing is burned into my childhood. It's in a way, it's permanent. Like it's branded. I love that show. There's an unfinished Gundam model in my room right now that I bought within the last year. I was infatuated with that shit when I was growing up, and this is not what I'm looking for.
But just to let you know that's not Universal Century, so you can get the fuck out.
Hey, listen, you fucking mobile suit elitist.
Oh, the last show that they did was Blood Iron Orphans or something. Was the darkest shit I've ever seen put on any sort of live or like viewing screen ever. Because there's literally 2 seasons of child soldiers dying.
Wow.
That's way more. That's way more of a tone shift than
Yeah.
fucking,
No, they won't do that.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
now that I've rediscovered Gundam Wing through the internet, like, there's a series on YouTube called Gundam Wing Too Long Didn't Read, and it's just like it's just the show chopped up into these little out of context sequences.
Should
It's the most hilarious thing.
No,
Like it just
Have
slams
any
cuts
guys-
to like Hiroyui going, "I'll kill you," and then slams to Zex Marquise in a fucking submarine going, "Damn it!"
Well, that's what I love the Gundam's formula because it's like always teenage protagonists who are super emo and hate life. There's a master villain who's not really a villain but kind of a villain antagonist, and it's like
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
it's 5 sad
Well,
boys
with-
fight the pretty men.
Yeah.
yes,
Well, with one exception, where it's a man in his 25, I would say, fighting his old master.
Oh wait, you're talking about
In a
Red Gundam?
tournament.
You're talking about G Gundam?
Yes, which is the only version of Gundam, as far as I'm concerned, that they could actually be making.
We're talking
that-
to a man that owns a high quality grade version of God Gundam.
Is
Yeah.
is G Gundam the one that the American Gundam was a football player robot?
No, he was
No,
a
he was a
boxer.
boxer.
Oh, okay.
He was
Goddamn.
basically Tommy Gunn from
The
from
French
Rocky
Gundam
Five.
had roses that he would shoot lasers from. The Russian
Yes.
was a prisoner, and he had a ball and
Yes.
chain as a weapon.
They're so
Christ.
it's so on the nose. Like that's why I love like the Gundam X designs. I think are so cool, and I think Gundam Wing Zero is one of the prettiest designs of any robot I've ever seen.
Have you seen? You saw the movie, right?
Endless Waltz?
Yes.
Oh my god, all those redesigns for those Gundams are insane. Heavy Arms is, I think, mathematically impossible.
I believe that is
Alan, do not buy Alan. If you buy Dynasty Warriors, I will. Oh god.
I actually have owned most of those games and I have a Heavy Arms that Endless Waltz version high grade model.
Alan, are you still
Shiny goddamn guns.
Alan left. He's gonna go buy all the Dynasty Warriors Gundam games.
I'm still here. I'm still here.
If you buy Dynasty Warriors, oh god, that's such a bad game. Such a bad game. They use out of context audio from the original show, and they didn't pay any of the actors apparently. From everything that I've heard.
Really?
Of course not.
I would say there's so many good versions of the show because there's like again, I'm being Gundam nerd. There's the all out of the universe like Gundam Wing. One of the ones they did like 2 ago is Unicorn. If you want to see like amazing designs, Unicorn had some awesome mech designs.
Mm-hmm.
Goddamn thing because they did the transforming thing and it was awesome.
Well, and like I think Gundam all across the board kind of brings really interesting designs to everything because Wing is I'm gonna bring up Wing a lot because it's the one I have the most experience with. Like even the like the Schleb mobile suits, like the Ares and the Taurus and all that stuff, they're kind of cool looking. And then there was the I can't remember what the Endless Waltz drones were. They were awesome. I think the Tallgeese was really cool, and that technically wasn't even a Gundam.
Yeah, the Tallgeese. There's like 4 versions of it. It's got
and Tallgeese 4, or Tallgeese 3. No, it's Tallgeese 4. Is a combination of Zek's Epion Gundam and the Tallgeese.
Oh man,
it's awesome.
I own way too many of these goddamn model kits because I have both the Epion and the Tallgeese.
Yeah, I had the Tallgeese kit that let you switch out all the parts to make various forms of the Tallgeese Gundam or the Tallgeese suit.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, I don't know. Like something back when this dropped that Hunter said, he's not here, so we'll just repeat what he said. Is if they take the basic concept of Gundam, maybe that could be something, but I don't know what they're going for. They haven't announced anything.
I really wish that American producers and executives would stop thinking that they can successfully adapt anime.
As a movie.
As a movie by completely rejecting all the cultural ties that it has back to where it came from. Like, you rarely hire any Japanese talent. Like, you certainly don't cast any Japanese actors. At least in major roles or actresses. You suck the life out of these franchises, and you're using them to make a buck off something that already exists, so you can sucker these fans of the property in because you know they're going to be there day one because they have to see it. Their curiosity has to be satiated. And I think it's tasteless, and I think it's like every 5 years someone's like, oh, Akira movie rumors. No, it's not happening. It can't happen. It won't happen. You guys can't do it. I don't believe in anything you have to say about it. Like,
or if they do, it'll be perfect, but nobody will go see it.
Well, here's the thing.
It'll be like Blade Runner all over again.
When it comes to Gundam, like almost not even almost, like every single Gundam series except for Fighter G are like political intrigue shows. They are all about
is Fighter G Gundam, or is that a different thing?
Yeah, it's the same thing. G Gundam. Yeah.
Well, even that one has political intrigue in it. Like that one's about. It's lighter. That's the thing. That's why I say it's the most adaptable. It's
all the other ones
most
are like
already Americanized. It's the most like, oh, we can just like do this. Like we can just make this and make 7 movies and not have to change much compared to the rest of them.
All the other ones are completely about like political espionage and like different factions warring with each other, and the Gundams are just weapons.
Yeah, they all deal with like what the fuck happens when you go and colonize space. an infinitesimal realm of stuff. Like,
and then also
it's kind of why that's kind of not to go this direction again. That's why like Trump's fucking Space Force thing is being so insanely ridiculed, because he's like, we're gonna dominate space. You can't fucking dominate space, you clown.
Right.
Also, the way ending.
Also, like the way that he's describing it it's beyond our actual needs. Like, we need a Space Force, but what he's suggesting is not the Space Force we need.
Yeah, and here's the thing: once you come up with the resources and the technology to go like colonize space, it's not like staking a claim on a piece of physical property. Like, it's space. There's no borders. Right. You're fucking your flag doesn't mean a goddamn thing up there.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I think like Gundam is so interesting, because it's a bunch of people who moved out into space, and a lot of it is based on colonies and the fucking problems these people have with each other.
Well, it's not just that. Like you're saying with the colonies, it gets into the politics of different political ruling, like way to rule your people. Because it's like a monarchy versus a democracy versus like a communist government. Like they attack all those different things, and it's so big in each of them, because they're goddamn animes. They're like 50 episodes minimum.
Yeah. Two things real quick. First off, with the entire idea of Space Forces Trump is discussing, it's not going to be something that the United States or someone else, another country does. It's going to be a corporate entity, because they're going to figure out how to get water out there the easiest, and water is going to be the thing that's most important.
And they're going to be the ones who have enough money to tell all these yammering delegates and yes men, or whatever country sent up there, to tell them all sit down, shut up, and do their jobs.
Yep. And the other thing is, we're going to need a Space Force to fight off the gigantic erection that Guillermo del Toro is going to have if this Gundam movie actually gets made properly, because he is going to pierce Pluto with that thing.
No, here's the thing: if he signed on as a producer and they said that they were doing this as a show, I'm immediately on board. Yes. And I'm like, no, this is going to happen for sure.
Here's else too. Like, how did you being a Hollywood decision maker, see Pacific Rim 2 fall down on its face so hard, and then go, the world needs a Gundam film?
It did well internationally, actually.
Oh, it did?
It did very well internationally. It did well in the audiences that they wanted it to do well in the same way that XXX 3 did much better than anybody thinks, because it made money around the world.
World of Warcraft.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, and this is something that Netflix is doing also, is they targeted the casting specifically based on who in each country that this is going to be marketed to will get the most people paying attention in seats. Yep. What Russian actress can we put in this that will get the most attention in Russia? What Brazilian actor will get us the most attention there? And so on and so forth. So that by the time you have enough people in it and enough buildup of interest based off of who's going in the movie, in countries where being a star is a bigger deal, you have made your money back just based off of advertising and things like that. And pre-sale and pre-sold tickets. So it just made money throughout the world. So regardless of if this movie is any good, they will use the same casting strategy of this cast is there's gonna be a Brazilian person, there's gonna be a Polynesian person, there's gonna be a Russian person, again, so on and so forth, and they will bring in their audience.
Well, that's why, like you said, the G Gundam works the best, because it already has that kind of built-in World Cup vibe of it. And compared to the other ones, which are like, all right, you can kind of build that in, but like they're so big. Like even if you separate yourself, if you do like a Gundam Wing or like Gundam Seed, where they're a separate universe, there's still like 120 episodes worth of like stuff going on.
Dude, that's one of the reasons why like me getting back into anime is a daunting task, because all the shows that people had told me like, oh, it's really good. I'm like, it's 200 fucking episodes.
Yeah, there are 50 episodes of G Gundam.
G Gundam is hilarious. Goddamn.
I love you, but get fucked.
G Gundam is 50 episodes. They can adapt all of them. Again, it's 7 movies. I've plotted this out because I'm a fucking nerd, and I've been there have been times in my life where I'm like, I'm just obsessed with G Gundam right
Arlen,
now.
This is the most I've ever heard talk about anime ever.
No, this is the thing. This is the one show where I'm like, I have some nostalgia for this because I don't.
Counter G Gundam is the WWE version of Gundam.
No, it's the DBZ version of Gundam.
It's
both. Stop it! Both of you.
No, like when it came
Getting
out,
aroused.
people complained about it because it was too Dragon Ball Z. Domon turns yellow and his hair turns yellow because he activates a super power
He
mode.
goes into God mode.
Yes, and his finishing move is
A touch to the face.
It's shining finger, and in the second half of the show, it's erupting burning finger.
Well, if you're going with
Oh my god! Wait a minute. He has an avalanche version of his finisher. Wow, this is the most Japanese pro wrestling thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, his finishing move is like he touches your face with his hot hand.
Dude, that's one of my favorite. I mentioned the last time I was talking about Japanese wrestling on here. I mentioned like Dragon Gate and stuff, and like something they have that's a trope there is that like somebody have a finishing move. And then eventually, like, enough people will kick out of that finishing move, where they basically come up with like a modified version of it, and then everyone takes it like it's the most devastating thing in the universe.
That's
they just die from it. Like they have leveled up. They have limit breaks basically.
Yeah.
And it gets to the point where the moves become fucking ridiculous. Like they're doing like one of them is wrestler named Shima. Like his finisher is I can describe it as like a sideways version of the Tombstone pile driver. Like he kind of scoops you up and he holds your head by his hip and tucks your legs up on his shoulder and just drops you. But he tucks you the whole time, so you kind of go down like a fucking spring. Eventually, he did a version of that where like he locks your arm between your legs and holds you from there and your head, and then jumps off the top rope with you and just drives you into the fucking canvas. I was like,
after covering you in thumbtacks.
I'm like, that guy's dead. And like someone else, this dude named Naruki Doi, like his finishing move used to be just like, you got up from some other move and he bounced off the ropes and just kicked you in the face. It was awesome. And then after years and years of using that, it got less effective. So he came up with this move called the Muscular Bomb, which sounds really dirty. And he picks you up like a wheelbarrow. Like picks you all the way up, so like he's got you by like the fucking thighs, and grabs a dude by the head and just drives them down head and neck first. Jesus Christ. It is the scariest looking thing I've ever seen. But what you're telling me about G Gundam actually sounds fascinating because I've only ever seen bits and pieces of it. It sounds like it's right up my alley.
No, it is. It's completely up your alley. Like there's like like
promos. Like that's why we got the
fighting robots,
because like he goes, so the main character is the Japanese guy. He basically goes to every single country and is like, "You're shit." Like,
oh my god! Wait, hold on! No, wait! This is Gundam Street Fighter, is what you're telling me?
Yes.
No, it is. It's Gundam Street Fighter. It's Gundam. It 100% is.
Yeah.
Well, no, the song kind of sounds like Street Fighter now that you point that out.
Yeah,
stop. Oh my god, I'm so sold.
Well, no, like he goes from place to place, and he's searching for the Dark Gundam, who's his brother.
Well, no, you're revealing. There's a whole like speed racer thing where there's a guy in a mask.
Wait, hold on, stop. This is fucking Street Fighter. You tell me he's looking for Akuma?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But there's two different versions of his brother.
Oh my god.
Yes, there are two different versions, but they've been corrupted by this like replicating electronic virus.
That's called Devil Gundam.
Yes, it's Devil Gundam in Japan. It's Dark Gundam in America. Yeah.
Alan, drink it in. Go find something else to watch.
And also, he comes along and he has a master named Master Asia.
His name, I'm sorry, excuse me, his name is Master Ninja?
His name is Master Asia.
I'm going to share a picture of their things. Hold on.
Yes, his name is Master Asia. He rides a horse. He has a ponytail.
No, he rides a unicorn.
His Gundam rides a unicorn.
And look at the picture. Master Asia.
Same time.
Master Asia is on the right. He does Tai Chi.
Jeez, that Gundam's cool as fuck. I've seen that Gundam before, and him.
It's dark.
Well, they're all in. Everybody from G Gundam is in Dynasty Warriors Gundam. Master Asia and Domon, they're both in it, and yeah, like they're part of the story mode.
I forgot to mention my favorite.
Okay, I like the fact that the French Gundam
Wait, I have to
it's dressed like Napoleon.
My favorite part of the show is that the Russian guy, he's intimidating, and the person leading him is a woman, and she's like a complete dom, and they play up that fact throughout the entire show.
Yeah.
There's
a British Gundam, and can you guess what the? I don't know. You see him in there. He's in there. He's John Bull Gundam.
A picture of the different characters.
Holy shit! I need this like in my veins.
The picture.
Here's the thing. It's all on YouTube for some reason. I put a link in our messenger chat. So, yeah.
And Domo has a girlfriend.
Yep, named Rain, and yeah.
See, here's the thing. Back to what like Hunter said about this movie and it taking the concept of like big fucking robots and just kind of trying something original with this. I kind of agree with that. Or if you're gonna do this, like pick something that's a little less, I don't know, fantastical like Gundam, because Gundam, like, look at these robots, they're ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
And even the ones that aren't, all the Gundams are so, like, I don't want to use the word obnoxiously over-designed, but they're very pleasantly over-designed, and they have a lot of creativity in them. And I don't trust someone from our filmmaking industry over here to really follow up on that. So just, if you're going to do that, fucking adapt an Armored Core game.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's the thing. Of all,
something.
Like, not including G Gundam, all the other ones are like war stories, like political war stories.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, they're all Game of Thrones in space.
Yes.
And unless you're going to do that, don't. Like, there's no point.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of people fighting over shit that doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. I mean, unless you're gonna, this is a stretch and it'll never happen. But if they got the Wachowskis to do it,
oh, that would actually work perfect.
But they'll never do it. They'll never get that big of a budget again, ever.
Okay, here's how you might get me in a theater for a Gundam movie. If you were like, J.J. Abrams is going to make a Gundam movie, I would like, all right, you have my attention.
Yeah, you have my attention, but if J.J. Abrams doesn't care about what he's doing, he does a bad job.
Yeah.
He didn't care about Star Trek, so he just made Star Trek Star Wars.
Yep.
And then when he did it the second time, he didn't care, and he made a really, really bad movie. So yeah, like, if they said he was producing, I would be interested, definitely. Because I think he's a good producer. He's just not always.
Oh,
consistent.
all right. You know, I want to pivot off this, and I want to close the story we also didn't have on the docket. Speaking of producers that I like being attached to projects I was excited for, who read those Mortal Kombat character breakdowns?
Oh, I did.
Okay,
I did.
before you say anything, those were all false.
They were all false.
Oh,
All of them were false. They were from an outdated script from like 5 years ago.
Holy shit! Thank you, God.
Yes.
Anyway, but okay, so there was a few. For those who don't know, there was a news article the other day, and like I hadn't heard about this old script, so I didn't know where these came from. But a couple websites released something called Mortal Kombat character breakdowns released. And let me tell you something. If these were real, I was gonna gouge my eyes out.
Well, they were real 5 years ago.
At some point, which honestly, it gives me more of a frightening look into how the development of this movie is going. Because if this is where they were 5 years ago, like, guys, you've been working on this for how fucking long?
There was no Scorpion, Sub-Zero, or
no Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Johnny Cage, no Shao Kahn. They had Rico instead, which I said in the chat, like, if you seriously put Reiko in a Mortal Kombat movie, you fundamentally missed the point of Reiko in that there was no point, and he was a gag on the audience as like a faux Shao Kahn return. It was supposed to be a fucking misdirect, and that's it. He doesn't have an actual backstory, like he's nothing.
I don't even remember which game that character was in.
4. 4 has the most forgettable roster, I think, of the series so far.
Was it N64?
Yes. 4 and Deadly Lions have an unforgivable roster of just like
Deadly Alliance is garbage.
Disposable characters who mean nothing and offer nothing to the series.
Who is the Wind Woman?
Ashra? You mean Dime Store Raiden?
Yes. No, that's exactly what she was. She was female Raiden with.
Yes.
What if let's give her another elemental power?
Yeah. Well, the thing that's redundant because like why didn't you just put Fujin back in the game? He was an actual god of wind.
Because we needed women characters.
But these character breakdowns was like, there was no Johnny Cage, and the main character was supposed to be this guy named Cole,
who was a boxer,
who was a retired boxer who's also widowed, and he hears about the Mortal Kombat tournament. By the way, like, what? Let me tell you how much of a bald white dude I conjure up when someone says the word Cole. Like, just standard, like, fucking, like, video game man protagonist guy in a fucking space marine suit. Liu Kang was just a Chinese guy who throws fireballs. That was basically what the description was.
Kung Lao was there.
Kung Lao had a
was a Chinese ninja master of fireballs.
Yes, that's.
God, this whole thing is so fucking stupid.
And it included characters like Draman and Nitara and.
There was no Katana also.
Yeah. Melina, but no Katana, which in the story doesn't make any sense because Melina is a clone of Katana, and the only reason she exists is so that one day she can assassinate Katana and replace her.
Well, and Kung Lao was master of the boomerang hat.
Sonya Blade was reduced from badass special forces agent who was out to murder Kano, who killed her partner, to an ambitious writer who heard about the Mortal Kombat tournament.
Yep.
And what was the description for Jax?
Basically the same as his game counterpart.
And
guy with metal arms.
Same with Kano.
Yeah, more or less. Those are like the two characters they kept the most intact, it seems. But yeah, no Scorpion, no Sub-Zero. Raiden was a 14-year-old boy for some reason.
Yeah, there's also no Goro. No Aaron Black.
Okay. Alan?
Well,
me and Hunter really like that character.
Okay, but Aaron Black has been around for a hot minute. Like,
I've never heard of this character.
Exactly.
He's
brand new. There's no reason to be that attached to him right now.
Their description
He's
of
a badass Western character.
And he just came out like within the past 5 years. Shao Kahn was it? Or not Shao Kahn, it was Shao Kahn, the shape changer. Isn't that him?
Shang Tsung.
Thank you. The way they described him in this was that he was just a constantly changing faces, and he never really had an actual form. Is the what I took.
So they basically didn't have to have the same actor in it.
Yep, pretty much.
Oh, and then well, this was supposed to be a movie, and then like the rest of the cast was filled with like Cole's family members and somebody called the Overseer. I'm like, well, you've already lost my interest. But thank God this is a fake story. Well, not a fake story, but an outdated one anyway.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't think we have anything else to talk about.
No, not really.
I'm gonna go watch more Combat Legacy after this.
Yeah,
Season
all 90 minutes of it.
Jesus Christ.
Because there's like that shit died.
Is that the one where the woman who was 6 of 9 was Sonya?
7 of 9.
Whatever. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
You want to know what's hilarious?
That was Mortal Kombat Rebirth.
Okay, I was gonna say like she's directly connected to the reason why Obama became president.
Oh shit!
What?
Wow.
So she was married to the senator from Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
Who, during their divorce, it came out the fact that he was trying to get her to do swingers clubs and had to resign his seat, in which Obama took.
Yep. I forgot about that.
Yes.
Yeah. And apparently he was very bad about trying to coerce her to go to these clubs too.
Yes,
like
he was trying to do swinging stuff with her.
Hang on, Arlen. Is that a Gundam coming out of a larger Gundam?
No, it's a Gundam whose body is a Gundam head that can grow into all different shapes and sizes. Like, if you watch the opening sequence, they show him at his biggest, and he has like wings, and he's flying in space.
It's the goddamn Devil Gundam.
It looks like fucking It looks like metal cooler.
Yeah, and like the Devil Gundam can like assimilate other Gundams.
It's made out of like nano machines or something.
Yeah. The idea is that it's like this weapon that they created to help them have an advantage. Because the way it works is that every 4 years they have like a tournament to see who controls everything.
It's the World Cup with Gundams, and the winner controls the universe.
Yes, and it's like Elysium in the same way, in that all the countries have space stations like Elysium. They all have like space colonies that are just outside of Earth's orbit. So all the poor people have been left on Earth, and all the rich people are up on the colonies.
And every country's Gundam is the most stereotypical Gundam for that country.
Yes, like Norway, you can probably guess what they have. It's a windmill.
In India is a cobra.
Jesus Christ!
Oh, I forgot. Every episode opens with this guy in like a tux with like a purple bow tie with an eye patch, and he's introducing who the fighters are in that episode. Yes, there's an announcer who at the beginning of the episode says, "Are we ready to fight? Now it's time to go." And he tells you who the bad guy is.
Like, this is 48 episodes, right?
48 episodes, 24-ish hours.
I just looked it up on YouTube, and there are like 5 playlists right away of full episodes.
All of them are on there. They've been on there for years.
I am queuing this up, and I'm going to start it as soon as we
So you're saying spin-off podcast?
No.
No. G Gundam.
That worked once, Al. Or with Al. Sorry, Lou.
Yeah.
But no, we'll definitely talk about it on here because I want to hear what Gunnar has to say about this show. Because
I'm gonna take a fucking sleep aid and put this on and just fall asleep to it.
You're gonna wake up and you're gonna say like, "My heart is burning hot and my hand is burning red."
It's so good.
Really confuse my coworkers tomorrow. Like, where'd you go?
Like, yeah, you're the ace of spades. That's another part of this goddamn show. Is that goddamn full like a royal flush?
I think I'm ready to wrap the show though.
Yep, I think we're good.
Yeah. So. Excuse me.
Holy fuck.
Holy shit, that came from the depths.
I just looked at how long we've been going.
Yeah, that was also my body telling me, hey, it's time to close.
Didn't we have like 4 stories?
Yeah, we had 4 stories, but we ended up doing 2 hours.
We were all cranked all the way up well before the show started. So, yes. And I'm running on pure delirium. Which I'm sure I'll listen back to this. Yeah, I'll listen back to this 2 days from now and be like, what the fuck? When did what? I don't remember saying any of this.
I don't remember being that excited about Gundam.
It's kind of like that Iron Man bit that I discovered in our chat like 2 days later. Woo! I'm Iron Man. The rules apply to everybody but me. No, you can't have my suits. Blah! Just flying away, flipping the middle finger and shooting missiles out of his feet. Pew 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 pew. Anyway, I'm Conor McGraw. A bunch of movie dumpster episodes are out right now. Mosquito is coming out. We still have Tetsuo the Iron Man out. I don't remember what we did before that.
You did Uncle Sam.
There we go. Uncle Sam was out for July. That was We're doing holiday specials, by the way. I don't know if I formally announced that, but every major holiday we're going to try to theme it with a movie. No, we're not doing Halloween on Halloween. Come on, we're not that tacky.
Right. Or that stupid.
But we're probably going to do Thanksgiving this year.
Yes.
For Halloween, what was the terrible movie with Bette Midler?
Hocus Pocus?
Yes, that should be your Halloween show.
Whoa. Okay. First of all,
no, that's mainstream.
I'm not into getting crucified by the people who avidly defend them. I like Hocus Pocus, but I'm also not getting taken to task by those crazy ass super fans on the internet.
Oh, you mean like Hunter?
Is he a diehard Hocus Pocus fan?
I'm pretty sure he's a big fan of it. Yeah.
Wow.
It might be ironic though.
I called him a motherfucker. I called Hunter. I said, "Hunter, you're a motherfucker" in the chat, and he's just like, Cheshire Cat smile.
Ooh.
He's drunk.
We're probably gonna do for Christmas. Probably do like a probably one of those controversial slasher movies from the fucking 70s or 80s, like Black Christmas or Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Driller Killer.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know. Nothing
but yeah,
could be more extreme than your Tetsuo, where somebody fucks a woman to death with a drill dick.
I mean, like Evil Dead gets close to that. I think Evil Dead is actually worse.
With the trees.
Yeah,
Evil Dead is really bad.
Evil Dead is way worse because the drill thing in Tetsuo happens very suddenly, and you're not really the way it's filmed. You're not really positive what happened. But when Evil Dead and like the vines split that poor woman's legs, and then like the fucking thud that happens afterwards is one of the most uncomfortable things I've ever sat through in a film.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because it's like you're not even like it doesn't matter what parts you have down there, you wince. You're like, oh,
Yep.
it's horrible. Yeah, keep an eye for some episodes. Mosquito should be out pretty soon, and Mosquito is one where we talked about that movie for almost as long as the actual runtime of the film. And Gunnar Hansen, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre's in it, and boy is he fucking terrible.
Yep. Balsaro podcast every week. This week's episode was Mission Impossible. Me and Eric Sayor discussed Mission Impossible 1 and 2. It was really good. Go listen to that. Look forward to next week.
I forgot I did a Lost Horror with you guys this week.
Yep. Yep, and that's next week's episode, all about soundtracks. So go listen to that when it comes out in 7 days. But yeah, have a good time.
Can I go next?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I just.
Typical Al.
Yeah, I really brought it tonight, guys.
You here's the thing. You actually did. You really did. The pauses have been at an all-time minimum. It was. You did a good job tonight, bud. You did a good job.
The next episode of Smallville Chronicles should be out by the time this is out. It's the probably when I say what the premise is, it's going to sound really dumb. But it's actually pretty
the last few episodes you've talked about haven't had extremely dumb premises.
It's a guy who basically can hypnotize you by giving you a handshake.
Okay.
But
I think I'm in the Connor camp now.
No, it's a good episode.
Here's the thing,
it is way better than the last episode, which was Shimmer.
The fact that there are 10 years of this blows my mind.
Yep.
Yeah,
because it's. It feels like it's gonna get to that point where the Family Guy sketch is making fun of Dean Koontz, like, "Oh, this lamp is a ghost."
I just remembered that the actress who plays Barry's daughter on Flash was on Smallville also.
God,
she played Plastique.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Yeah, in the last episode we just recorded, there was a couple of things that,
like Evangeline Lilly.
Yeah, Evangeline Lilly was a random girl that gets kissed, and she's in like 5 other episodes of Smallville as well.
Weird.
Yeah, that's way before Lost, way before anything else she was known for.
They also mentioned a particle accelerator.
Yeah.
And DeVoe for some reason.
I'm really angry at how much of this made the leap into Flash.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, most of it did. A lot of it did. It was a dry run, kind of.
It's like fucking what's his nuts with Tom Weller?
Tom Welling.
Tom Weller.
What? Tom Weller.
Alan, do not chide me like I'm supposed to know who the fuck he is.
That's fair.
Connor was not into that movie with Steve Martin and him that I can't remember the name of, but yeah.
I feel like he's just waiting in the sidelines, going like, any minute now, we're gonna pull the curtain off this thing and reveal Flash has been Smallville the whole time.
Oh God, please no. All right, my name is Eric Dorchek. You can find me on Eric_Fedor, Instagram, that is. Dogs, cats, food, comics, things along that nature. Phantom Zone, floating around on there, trying to avoid fights that certain people need to stop getting into in the group. It was also my dog Otis's 1-year birthday, and he got a whole steak for his birthday. The official 6th member of the podcast at times when he decides to start yelling. You might have heard him earlier. And I have in school Brock Lesnar into a sentient version of Sega CD's Marky Mark and the Funky Bunches Make My Video.
You know, I want to see a buddy film with starring Monster and Otis.
It would just be Otis chasing a monster underneath couches.
Most likely.
Dude, you can't do it to Monster like that. That dude can't breathe.
Exactly.
He's asthmatic.
Otis is having some hip problems, so he wouldn't be able to run that fast.
Yeah, a Monster would have to get on Otis's back and let him do the running. I mean, that poor cat. I love that little fucking lemon.
All right.
Lou?
Guess it's me. So Louis Gonzalez, Twitter and Instagram, doing the Smallville Chronicles with Arlen. Like we said, we already talked about the.
We're also getting closer to the episode of Smallville where they use the Superman song by Five for Fighting.
That is the age thing that's the worst in the show. Is like the music, because the last episode we listened to started with a song from POD, and I was like, I can't stand. I don't know. Connor, are you sure you don't want to be on the season finale where Clark?
No, here's the thing. At this point, Connor, you need to be on the season finale.
But don't watch any episodes.
No,
right.
Although Kristen Kirk has a new show coming out on CW because that's how that works.
Yeah, we won't be watching it though.
Wasn't she part of the?
If the CW is like a fucking pole in the middle of a snowy field, these actors like shackled to it. Like what the fuck?
Well,
yes.
One of them is
leave.
shackled in jail, and then
Oh yeah.
one of them is on a hit television show, and then the other one was on Lucifer first season. It's only her, because no one cares. She was in this and Chung-Li.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I think that is it. And then I was just gonna end with this hand of mine glows with the awesome power. Its burning grip compels me to defeat you. Take this, my love, my anger, and all of my sorrow.
Okay, see that I've seen in YouTube poop clips. Like that's how I know that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I actually looked at that video up, and that was what
Dude,
came
here's the thing. When you guys were talking about who was it, Master Asia, the dude who rides in a fucking unicorn?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Here's a game you can play. Describe characters and go Metal Gear or Gundam.
Oh my god.
That's hard. That's a hard game.
Well, his name's Master Asia, and he shows up the battlefield riding a unicorn, and
he kills full-size Gundams with a scarf.
And then he fought a man who's made of bees.
Oh my god, you just actually reminded me. There is an upcoming episode of Smallville where the bad guy is a woman who control bees.
Wait a minute.
What?
Yeah.
No. The bee woman returns?
No, different person.
It's a different character,
No, but
it's the same power set.
Yeah.
God damn it.
God damn it. What the fuck?
They're not mechanical, they're actual bees.
Yo,
I might need to be in that episode then, because
I have a fucking bone to pick with the CW right now.
the bee woman is my mortal enemy on the
so-
CW.
You sons of bitches. Like, you just, like, let's just fucking go back to this sack of gimmicks and just use them.
Yeah, so on Smallville, it's called
And
Jerome.
also, Iceman from the X-Men films is gonna be. We're
That's
getting closer
fine.
to his episode.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that actor that nobody cares about.
Well, he's a twin, and one twin plays Jimmy Olsen, and the other twin plays a one-off character.
Yes, because they did that twist
My
where
comment
Jimmy
still
wasn't
stands.
really Jimmy.
Oh no! The brother that plays Iceman plays like a kind of like version of Parasite in an episode of season
This
1.
show sounds more and more like a show that Fry would watch on Futurama than an actual
Yeah.
superhero
Yeah.
TV show
By the way,
that
just-
exists in my
I
reality.
just thought I should let you guys know I have an episode of G Gundam on in the background. I'm just like barely paying attention to it. They just showed Mexico's space station.
Oh no.
Is it a sombrero?
It's a sombrero, but it's also.
Oh my god!
But no, it gets better. It's also a cactus.
No.
Does it have churros sticking out of it too?
No.
I'm so glad I guessed that right.
I'm so done. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Fuck X-Men Apocalypse.
My hand is burning red.
Fuck G Gundam.
Fucking Japan.